Chapter 12-13. In the end, the price of the inferior foundation establishment elixir broke through 10,000 spirit stones. Faced with this price, other forces ceased to continue bidding. If it were a genuine foundation establishment elixir, they would be willing to pay even a few thousand more. But for an inferior foundation establishment elixir, after all, the effect is limited. It's very likely to be wasted. Huang family from Huangyang Ridge? It's actually them. It's said that the Huang family patriarch is gravely injured, with not much lifespan left. No wonder they are willing to bid this price. The Huang family didn't send any foundation establishment cultivators, only 2 energy refining cultivators. Getting the foundation establishment elixir, they may face the risk of being robbed. Many cultivators looked towards the bidder, whispering among themselves. Before long, a middle-aged man dressed in a yellow cotton robe arrived at the auction, paid the spirit stones, and received the foundation establishment elixir. Lu Daoist, may I ask if I could borrow a dwelling in Red Leaf Valley Market to attempt foundation establishment breakthrough? Regardless of success or failure, we of Huangyang Ridge will owe Lu family a favor and are willing to offer additional spirit stones. The middle-aged man said with a cupped fist salute. He himself understood that carrying the foundation establishment elixir back to attempt the breakthrough could be very dangerous. Hence, he wanted to attempt it directly in Red Leaf Valley Market. Huang Daoist, a large amount of nature's spiritual energy is needed when breaking through to foundation establishment. The current situation in our Red Leaf Valley Market is just enough to maintain the operation of the Great Formation. If someone attempts foundation establishment, it will surely affect the market's Great Formation. Moreover, it is a special period right now, and quite honestly inconvenient. On hearing this, Lu Xianxia immediately spoke out to tactfully refuse. About this matter, the family had already given instructions beforehand, saying that they shouldn't allow anyone to attempt foundation establishment in the marketplace. Because apart from robber cultivators and heretic cultivators, many forces are now eyeing by Lake Mountain and Red Leaf Valley Market. Once such a situation arises, it's possible that some forces could disguise as robber cultivators and seize the opportunity to cause chaos in the market, brewing a disaster. Sigh. Upon hearing this, the middle-aged man sighed, somewhat disappointed. But he had anticipated this. The spirit vein of Red Leaf Valley Market was not impressive. To support the market's Great Formation at full operation was already pushing it. How could they provide a dwelling for someone to attempt foundation establishment? If the attempt caused problems to the Great Formation and led to a disaster, even by Lake Mountain might not be able to suppress it. Huang Daoist, you can stay in the market for the time being and inform your family elders, where you could ask Tianwei Escort Bureau's escort guards to escort you back. At this moment, Lu Xianxia spoke to the middle-aged man. As the auction's hosts, they naturally do not wish for buyers to encounter any mishaps just after leaving Red Leaf Valley Market or on their way back. That would adversely affect their own reputation. All right, the middle-aged man nodded, knowing this was the only way, and prepared to inform his family elders and contact the escort guards. However, as he looked at the bustling venue, he still couldn't help but ask with some hope. Huang is going to return to Huangyang Ridge. Is there any senior willing to escort me? Huangyang Ridge is not only willing to pay spirit stones, but also owes the senior a favor. Yet, there was no response. Many foundation establishment forces here knew that by Lake Mountain was being watched by various powers. Even false core level forces were eyeing this auction to spoil it. Who knows if there were foundation establishment cultivators lying in ambush not too far outside. So, to earn a bit of spirit stones, it definitely wasn't worth the risk. Seeing no one responded, the middle-aged man could only give up, requesting someone to send a message to his family and arrange for someone to pick him up. As the auction came to an end, the cultivators in the venue quickly departed. Some cultivators who had participated in the bidding and spent money immediately took this time to disguise and camouflage themselves, leaving Red Leaf Valley Market. Wang Shu, Xianxia, Qingli, you've all worked hard. At this time, Lu Miaoge and Li Xingrua came backstage, looking at Lu Wangshu and the others, and spoke. It's all right. These days, mainly Xianxia and cousin Mu Ping have been busy. Lu Wangshu usually had a scholarly and gentle demeanor, serene and refined. Auntie, it's my responsibility. It's also my first time hosting such an auction. I was still a bit nervous. Lu Xianxia and Lu Qingli said with a smile. After speaking for a while, Lu Miaoge went to visit her father Lu Yuanding. This auction took too long, and currently, Lu Yuanding's energy simply couldn't last through it. He took a rest partway through. At this moment, at the entrance to Red Leaf Valley Market, one after another, cultivators were seen leaving the market, flying on spirit boats, flying swords, and magic artifacts. Shortly after, suddenly, powerful foundation establishment spiritual pressures pervaded the air. One saw several figures wearing hats and black robes, covering their faces, appearing. They coldly told the cultivators coming out of the market, "Leave behind your valuables, and your lives shall be spared." "Spare my life, please. A foundation establishment cultivator, it's all over." "Spare me, senior. Am willing to give up my storage bag." The cultivators who had just left the door immediately changed their expressions, overwhelmed by the spiritual pressure. None of them expected that there would be foundation establishment cultivators laying in wait outside the market, and it seemed that there were 5 of them. This is a deliberate attempt by a force targeting Red Leaf Valley Market. Someone immediately realized that the situation was not right. After all, what robber cultivator would dare to rob openly right outside a market? They would typically be tens of miles away. Roar! The 9 Netherhounds stationed in the market looked towards the situation here and suddenly roared, its voice reverberating powerfully enough to shake one's heart. This is Bihu Lake Mountain's guardian spiritual beast. How terrifying. What kind of spiritual beast is that? It looks so ferocious. Many energy-refining cultivators, seeing the 9 Netherhound, couldn't help but shudder. Some who had just released their spiritual bird mounts found them cowering and trembling under the aura of the 9 Netherhound, shaking uncontrollably. CTH Ovalfire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. However, the distant 5-masked robber cultivators, seeing this scene, just sneered and began attacking the surrounding chi-refining loose cultivators. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 12:14. How dare these robber cultivators cause trouble at our Red Leaf Valley Market? At the marketplace entrance, Lu Qingyin and her patrol heard the commotion. Her pretty face darkened, and she shouted loudly. She immediately activated the marketplace's Great Formation, preventing others from going out and triggering the yin-yang sensing talisman. However, upon witnessing this scene, the 5-masked robber cultivators sneered viciously and started attacking the chi-refining loose cultivators around them. In an instant, several energy-refining cultivators fell, bleeding to their death. In the face of foundation establishment cultivators, unless energy-refining cultivators have powerful treasures, they stand no chance at all. Damn it! Seeing this unfold, Lu Qingyin clenched her silver teeth and fists tightly, her face looking extremely ugly, knowing that the enemy was showing off their power to deliberately provoke them. Inside the marketplace, Lu Wangshu was talking with her mother, Xianxia. Suddenly, they heard the roar of a 9 Netherhound, and she gently raised her slender hand, looking at the sensing talisman flashing red in her palm. Is there a foundation establishment cultivator making a move outside? Seeing this, Xianxia closed her eyes to sense and immediately detected the disturbance outside the marketplace, the spiritual pressure of foundation establishment. As Xingyang said, someone did come to stir up trouble. On hearing this, Lu Wangshu's beautiful face suddenly showed a hint of coldness. They had already anticipated that other forces might cause trouble at this auction. They just weren't sure when these hidden forces would choose to act. "Mother, I'll go take a look," Lu Wangshu immediately said. These people making their move so close to the marketplace had an obvious purpose. It was to damage the reputation of the Red Leaf Valley Market by proxy and indirectly suppress the Blue Lake Mountain. Mother will go with you, Xianxia said softly, although aware that her daughter's combat capability is extraordinary. If she were to throw all the talismans given by Lu Changsheng, even she, the mother, might not be a match and would be thrown into disarray. But in this situation, she still was not at ease letting Lu Wangshu go alone. All right, later on, please help me with the plundering formation, mother. Lu Wangshu pursed her lips and smiled, also looking forward to showing off her skills. Immediately, the two walked out of the courtyard, flying toward the entrance of the marketplace. Flight is prohibited within the marketplace, but Foundation establishment cultivators are not affected. Wangshu. At this moment, Lu Muping and Lu Yuanzhong saw Lu Wangshu and Xiaoxia and immediately called out to them. Cousin Muping. Lu Wangshu often visited the Red Leaf Valley Market, so she was also familiar with Lu Muping. Wangshu's appearance. Why does it somewhat resemble Fairy Shiyu? At this time, Lu Muping glanced at Lu Wangshu and Xiaoxia and suddenly paused, noticing the similarity between their eyes and facial contours. Could it be? He abruptly did not dare to continue his thoughts. He found it too astonishing. Lu Yuanzhong acted as if he hadn't noticed anything. He had once seen Fairy Shiyu at Blue Lake Mountain in his early years and had conjectured after seeing the grown-up Lu Wangshu. But such matters were too shocking, and he never mentioned it to avoid bringing trouble to Lu Changsheng. Xiaoxia noticed Lu Muping's gaze, and instantly, her cool and holy visage was covered by a layer of moonlight, making it difficult for anyone to discern her features for a moment. A short while later, the four arrived at the entrance of the Red Leaf Valley Market. They immediately saw that 5 Foundation establishment cultivators were blocking the outside, attacking the departing Lu's cultivators. Sister Wangshu, Cousin Muping. Lu Qingyin and the others saw Lu Wangshu rushing over and immediately cried out. Being blocked at the door, merely watching was truly stifling. If this incident were to spread, it could seriously damage both their family name and the marketplace's reputation. Damn it! Seeing this scene, Lu Wangshu's pretty face turned icy, and she transformed into an escape light, charging out. Wangshu! Sister Wangshu! Upon seeing this, Lu Muping and others immediately changed color and exclaimed in shock. One must realize that these were 5 Foundation establishment cultivators. Moreover, the mana spiritual pressure of 2 among the 5 was extremely powerful, most likely at the Foundation establishment mid-stage. With such strength, wasn't Lu Wangshu heading to her doom? You all managed the marketplace formation. Xiaoxia's voice was clear, cold, and detached as she spoke to Lu Muping and Lu Yuanzhong. Then she immediately followed after. So Lu Wangshu is indeed a Foundation establishment cultivator. Another Foundation establishment cultivator, the Lu family of Blue Lake Mountain, has hidden their strength quite deeply. But the little girl seems inexperienced in the world, acting so impulsively. Who is this lady in white? At the entrance of the marketplace, some cultivators who knew of Lu Wangshu narrowed their eyes upon witnessing the scene, and their wariness of Blue Lake Mountain increased a bit. After all, a Foundation establishment cultivator emerging every now and then was truly alarming. Where did this little girl come from? She's courting death. The 5 Foundation establishment cultivators who were undertaking the plundering laughed out loud upon seeing Lu Wangshu. One of them immediately sacrificed a small golden knife spiritual artifact and launched an attack at Lu Wangshu. Whiz, whiz, whiz. Lu Wangshu's lovely face showed indifference as talismans streamed out from her pink-white sleeves, swirling around her, integrating their energies, like an armor made of talismans emanating a mysterious aura. Furthermore, talismans flew in all directions, arranging themselves in the sky dome as if to form some sort of formation. Clang! Sir, the novel_fire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The golden knife spiritual artifact came within a zhong of Lu Wangshu and was immediately stopped by an invisible barrier, emitting a clang. Such a method, a talisman cultivator. Hmm. Is this not the Lu family ancestor Lu Changsheng's signature technique? Talisman formation? I didn't expect this girl to have inherited Lu Changsheng's talisman path legacy. Back when Lu Changsheng had just broken through to Foundation establishment, he depended on the talisman formation technique to suppress 3 Foundation establishment members of the Yu family. No wonder the girl is so confident, daring to face 5 Foundation establishment cultivators alone. Even though the talisman formation is formidable, as long as there are enough talismans, one could overcome opponents of a higher level. However, facing 5 Foundation establishment cultivators alone is too arrogant. No, the lady in white behind her is not simple. Who is this woman? The lady of the Lu family, Lu Miaoga? At the entrance of the market, everyone who witnessed the scene was filled with doubt and astonishment. Lu Yuanzhong saw this scene, and his expression became slightly dazed. He recalled the scene from 40 years ago when Lu Miaoga was assaulting her Foundation establishment. The 3 Foundation establishment members of the Yu family attacked, and Lu Changsheng emerged from the formation, summoning a talisman formation, suppressing the 3 Foundation establishment cultivators. Is this a talisman formation? We absolutely cannot let her deploy the talisman formation. Spread out and take action. The 5 Foundation establishment robber cultivators came prepared, having done their homework, and knew they must not be trapped by the talisman formation. They immediately scattered, summoning magic artifacts, casting techniques at Lu Wangshu and Xianxia. Xianxia looked at the 5 approaching people, her body enveloped in a pale lunar glow. She remained still. She knew that her daughter's cultivation up to now had never been revealed to the outside world. She anticipated a day when her daughter could make a name for herself in the cultivation world. And today, this was her daughter's stage to shine. Still, she remained vigilant, ready to take action in an instant if her daughter encountered any danger. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 12:15. Shu Shu Shu. Lu Wangshu faced the 5 attackers, lightly pursed her pink lips, her pretty face serious, with talismanic light winding around her suddenly shooting out, taking on the offensive of 5 by herself. At the same time, a dark Luo umbrella appeared above Lu Wangshu's head, spinning wildly, transforming into numerous Xuanjin talismans, and arrayed around her. Boom, boom, boom. The collision of spells caused a series of explosive sounds, resulting in a terrifying wave of mana aftermath. This woman is facing 5 Foundation establishment great cultivators and is not at a disadvantage at all. You call this not at a disadvantage? Consuming so many talismans at the first encounter is simply extravagantly wasteful. Is this a battle or a splurge of money? I've always heard that talisman cultivators are spendthrifts. Today I've really seen it. Damn it, the amount spent in this single encounter exceeds the spirit stones I could earn in 10 years. If she keeps relying on talismans like this, she can probably only hold out for a bit. It might be difficult for her to repel 5 people. Right, if she can't trap these 5 in a talisman formation, once she runs out of talismans, she's more likely to face misfortune than luck. Who is this lady in white? Why isn't she taking action? At the marketplace entrance, many cultivators were discussing animatedly as they watched the conflict in the sky before them. By this time, Lu Miaoga, Li Xingruo, and Li Xingyu had also arrived. However, seeing the battle outside, they did not take action immediately. 1. 9. Seal. Suppress. Intercept. Annihilate. Lu Wangshu's body illuminated, as if she was wearing a 9-colored talisman robe, her curves enchanting, her black hair flowing, her eyes sharp and piercing. Instantly, dozens of talismans charged towards the 5, sealing, suppressing, intercepting, annihilating from all directions, leaving no gaps. Little girl, I want to see just how many talismans you have. Such a method, truly astonishing. So, this is a talisman cultivator? If this young girl can wield so many talismans, how many can Lu Changxing wield? This girl must be eliminated. Otherwise, once she grows up, she will be another Lu Changsheng. The 5 Foundation establishment robber cultivators, seeing Lu Wangshu taking the initiative and looking imposing, all had a hint of wariness in their eyes. If it wasn't for the fact that there were 5 of them, they would not dare to take on Lu Wangshu. After all, if it were one-on-one, they feared that in a few exchanges, they would be bombarded into dust by these talismans. This also instilled in them an even stronger killing intent towards Lu Wangshu, wishing to nip this talent in the bud. Boom, boom, boom. The two sides continue to clash, Lu Wangshu's talismans bombarding furiously, preventing the 5 from getting close. Facing this situation, the 5 also gave up attacking and shifted to defense as their primary tactic. They separated and took their positions, using spiritual artifacts, waiting for an opportunity. Sir, the Novel Fire, NE*T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Wangshu let out a light snort, seeing that the 5 did not dare confront her head-on, wishing to drag out the fight, to exhaust her. Suddenly, she performed a series of rapid gesture incantations, and her slender, fair finger traced in the void like a swimming dragon. In an instant, a golden talisman formed. From this talisman, 1 produced 2, 2 produced 4 produced 8. In the blink of an eye, 99 talismans appeared, forming a talisman formation around her, supporting her figure which looked extraordinarily beautiful. What technique is this? An illusion technique. No, these are all talismans, drawing talisman in the void. Could this be the legendary drawing talisman in the void? Lu Changsheng has hidden his hand well. All these years, never have I seen him display such a method. He truly concealed his skill. If it weren't for his daughter, we really wouldn't know that his talisman path inheritance was so amazing. Everyone was shocked by Lu Wangshu's methods. Jiang country was not known for a renowned talisman cultivator heritage. Occasionally, a few talisman cultivators would appear with some related records. Therefore, techniques like drawing talisman in the void were unheard of, unseen by many present. Seeing Lu Wangshu's methods left them astounded, realizing that the talisman path inheritance of the Lu family was extraordinary. Xianxia, watching her daughter's techniques, had a touch of gentle pride in her eyes. Unwittingly, the infant once in her swaddling clothes had grown to such an extent. She still remembered giving birth to Lu Wangshu at the Red Leaf Valley Market with Lu Changsheng. She is only at the initial stage of foundation establishment. She won't last long. Right, this woman is not adept in combat. Such blind bombarding. Before long, she will deplete her talismans and mana. Be careful. Do not take her lightly. The 5 had serious expressions as they looked at Lu Wangshu and Xianxia, communicating with divine sense. However, thinking that they, 5 people, were being made to struggle by such a junior at foundation establishment, they were extremely frustrated. Now is the moment. After a moment of stalemate with the 5, Lu Wangshu, observing the arranged talismans above, suddenly had a stern look. Her fingertips danced. A 9-colored talismanic script slowly traced across her smooth white forehead, seemingly sketching out an ancient rune. The rune transformed into a mysterious and profound 9-colored divine talisman. As the talisman emerged, all the talismans around Lu Wangshu burst with spiritual light, converging and interweaving, forming a giant talisman several zhang in size. At the same time, in the heavens and earth, in all directions, ripples appeared in the void, forming numerous talismans, spinning wildly. 9-9. Xian Talisman Array Formation. Golden Light Ultimate Heaven and Earth. Lu Wangshu incanted with a clear voice as she formed gesture incantations. Suddenly, the talismans spinning in all directions converged, their chi fusing together, forming an extremely strong golden barrier that trapped the 5 Foundation establishment robber cultivators. Oh, this isn't good. A trivial initial stage of Foundation establishment. trying to trap us 5, overestimating herself. This wench is using such techniques. She's too busy to be distracted. Kill her. The 5, seeing the situation, observe the golden light shining from all sides, the shrinking barrier, and immediately charge towards Lu Wangshu. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 12:16. However, dong dong dong. Golden barriers appeared one after another, isolating them individually and sealing them within. Kill. The eyes of the 5 were fierce. Mana surged as they bombarded the golden barriers, not believing that Lu Wangshu, a mere early-stage Foundation establishment cultivator, could trap all 5 of them. Boom, boom, boom. These golden barriers seemed endless. No sooner had they been cracked and fissures appeared than another was instantly formed. Heavy water, 3,000 marshes surged mightily. Lu Wangshu formed hand seals with a clear shout. Infinite talismans proliferated, forming a talisman formation. With the 2 merging talisman formations, raging torrents struck toward the 5 within the golden barriers, overwhelming and seemingly eroding the cultivators' physical bodies and mana. Infinite raging fire burns fiercely. Within the realm of water and fire, a golden lotus is planted. 9-colored talismanic script glittered between Lu Wangshu's brows, her hands continuously forming seals, and inside her chi ocean core, the profound origin bead spun wildly, pouring out stored mana. For someone like Lu Wangshu to act in this way, the mana of ordinary Foundation establishment cultivators couldn't keep up. Yet, even with the profound origin bead, Lu Wangshu's charming and beautiful face still paled slightly. For a moment, shocking waves, turbulent waves, blazing fires, spreading wildly and lighting the sky. Behind Lu Wangshu, all talismans converged, spiritual lights surged, and golden lights exploded, forming sharp golden lotuses, striking down the 5. Pu. In an instant, 3 robber cultivators at the early stage of Foundation establishment were severely injured under the onslaught of water, fire, and golden lotuses, blood spewing, their vitality waning. This to contend against 5 alone and still hold upper hand. Talisman Cultivator. Such a terrifying talisman cultivator. Once the talisman formation is formed, there's no match within the same level. If encountering a talisman cultivator, one must finish the battle quickly. If her talisman formation is refined, it will be troublesome. Is this girl just beginning Foundation establishment? How is her mana so vigorous and vast? Blue Lake Mountain Lu Wangshu. Didn't expect that after Lu Pingon, Blue Lake Mountain's Lu family has another Lu Wangshu. Such fortune in Blue Lake Mountain's Lu family. The spectating cultivators were profoundly shocked, their expressions grave. Sir the Novelier. NET website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Sister Wangshu is so formidable. So Sister Wangshu is this powerful. Wow, go Sister Wangshu. Lu Qingyan, Lu Qingze, Lu Qingqi, and other members of the Lu family were all surprised to see this. They never expected their usually somewhat idiosyncratic sister to be so fierce, instantly exhilarated. In the crowd, a few people looked up at Lu Wangshu and Xianxia in the sky, their expressions shifting. Taoist, please stop. We admit defeat and are willing to leave. At this moment, a robber Foundation establishment cultivator, realizing the battle could lead to their demise, shouted loudly towards Lu Wangshu. Indeed, young friend, we are willing to offer compensation. Seeing this, another robber cultivator called out. They came here just to cause trouble, to strike at the Red Leaf Valley Market, and had no intention of losing their lives over it. The other 3 remained silent, but were also considering retreating, knowing that continuing the battle would mean waiting for Lu Changsheng or a cultivator from Qingyun's sect to arrive, which would be very troublesome. You come to my family's market to cause trouble. and think you can just stop whenever you want? It's not that simple. Do you really think Blue Lake Mountain is so easy to bully? Lu Wangsha's hair flew about, her face crystal clear and stunningly beautiful, and she spoke with a cold voice. As she spoke, her hands continued to form gesture incantations, endlessly deriving talismans around her, forming golden lotuses that continuously attacked the 5 people. The 99 Xuanjin talismans arranged around her body also merged into the golden lotuses at this moment, bursting forth with endless sharp auras. Poo-poo-poo-poo. Suddenly, a Foundation establishment cultivator under the attack of the talisman formation was pierced through the body, vomiting blood, and was left gasping for air, barely alive. Young one, do you really want to fight to the death? A robber cultivator at the mid-stage of Foundation establishment shouted aloud upon seeing this, knowing that if they do not fight with all their might, they are likely to perish here today. Fight to the death. Just try. Lu Wangshu formed a seal with one hand and continually sketched talismans in the void with the other, forming strands of spirit talismans. Such arrogance from a junior. Let's fight her to the death. This mid-stage Foundation establishment robber cultivator let out a long howl to the sky, displayed a secret technique, and his aura climbed dramatically, beginning to fight desperately. However, among the other 4, 2 had already perished, covered in blood. Boom, boom, boom. The remaining 3 fought desperately, furiously striking at the talisman formation, trying to break through and kill Lu Wangshu. But by then, the talisman formation was already complete, and even though the 3 wanted to fight desperately, they couldn't break through at all, feeling a surge of despair. Swoosh! However, just at that moment, suddenly, a masked Foundation establishment cultivator burst forth, rushing towards Lu Wangshu with murderous intent, seeking death. Next to her, Xianxia's eyes gleamed with a crystal-cold light like the 9 heavens' bright moon, suddenly raising her hand to slap forward. Buzz! An invisible ripple spread out, causing the body of the rushing Foundation establishment cultivator to stiffen suddenly. Bang, bang, bang. Sounds of dull explosions immediately resounded within the body of the Foundation establishment cultivator, whose body trembled uncontrollably as he vomited blood. Following that, his mind swayed. He died a spiritual death, his aura extinguished, and his face full of unwillingness as he fell from midair. Who is this woman? She killed a Foundation establishment great cultivator with a single strike. No wonder Lu Changsheng entrusted the Red Leaf Valley Market to his daughter Lu Wangshu. It turns out there is such a powerful cultivator stationed here. Everyone who saw this scene was stunned. No one expected that the white-robed woman accompanying Lu Wangshu would be so fierce. To think she killed a Foundation establishment cultivator with a single palm strike. Is this the power of a true inheritance from the immortal sex? Lu Yuanzhong. Lu Mooping upon recognizing Xianxia's identity and seeing her in midair were shocked. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 12:17. Lu Qingze, Lu Qingyan, and others looked at Xianxia, unable to suppress their curiosity about the relationship between this person and their father. In charge of the marketplace affairs all this time, they were completely unaware of such a powerful individual in the marketplace. Upon witnessing this scene, Lu Wangshu's lips pursed lightly. She then continuously formed gesture incantations with both hands, and as she gently parted her red lips, she uttered 99 mystical talismans. Divine Phoenix. Screech. A piercing screech resounded between heaven and earth. All the talismans around Lu Wangshu fused into one, transforming into a golden phoenix bathed in crimson dawnlight. This phoenix was an impressive 10 feet tall, its golden light flowing and burning fiercely with flames, making Lu Wangshu's glowing and elegantly curved body look sacred, noble, and indescribably beautiful. Die! Lu Wangshu's fingers came together as she pointed them towards the remaining 3 people, her eyes cold and hard. Suddenly, the divine phoenix let out a screech, igniting the world in fire. A swath of flames engulfed the 3 people who were already suppressed by the golden barrier. I refuse to accept this. Upon seeing Xianxia take action, the 3 were already in despair, realizing that there was no escaping death today. Now, faced with the divine phoenix, they cried out in sorrow, filled with endless regret. Had they chosen to flee immediately, they could have escaped unharmed. Even in the midst of battle, there was still a chance to run away. But they never imagined that Lu Wangshu, a mere initial stage foundation establishment cultivator, would display such astonishing tactics, leading them to a hopeless end. A moment later, the divine phoenix and the firelight vanished between heaven and earth. The corpses of the 5 robber cultivators fell from the sky. The bodies of 3 among them were charred black. Once touched by the breeze during their descent, nothing was left but their magical robes, magic artifacts, and remains. Such methods, they're simply to Blue Lake Mountain Lu Wangshu. This woman's combat power, I'm afraid it's not weaker than that of a Foundation Establishment Peak Cultivator, right? It still depends on the situation. If it's a surprise attack, or if she's attacked before her talisman formation is set, she's just an ordinary Foundation Establishment Cultivator. First there was Lu Pingon. Now there's another Lu Wangshu. No. Initially, Lu Pingon only managed to repel a Foundation Establishment mid-stage elder from the Tao family. But this Lu Wangshu faced 1 against 5, killing 5 Foundation Establishment cultivators. Back when Lu Changsheng had just broken through Foundation Establishment, he used Talisman Formation to defeat 3 members of the Yu family and establish the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. But now his daughter has alone killed 5 Foundation Establishment cultivators. With such children, who can halt the rise of Blue Lake Mountain Lu family? All those who saw Lu Wangshu in the sky were in a trance, unsure of what to say. Expressions of shock, surprise, envy, and jealousy emerged on their faces. They were astounded and envious that Lu Changsheng had 2 such extraordinarily talented children, Lu Pingon and Lu Wangshu. Either of these 2 could lead a family to prosperity for 100 years, advancing the family another step forward. And now, the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family had both of them at the same time. However, people like Lu Yuanzhong and Lu Muping, who knew Lu Qingshan, were even more astonished and envious. I'm afraid even Qingshan wouldn't be a match for this woman if they fought. Lu Yuanzhong murmured to himself, filled with incredulity. He never thought that besides Lu Qingshan, Lu Changsheng had another such brilliantly talented daughter. And moreover, she was cultivated by himself and not sent to the immortal sex. But seeing Xianxia beside Lu Wangshu, enveloped in a layer of hazy lunar glow, his mind became at ease. After all, Lu Wangshu not only had Lu Changsheng as a father, but also had Xianxia as a mother. Huff! Lu Wangshu let out a long breath, her face slightly pale. This battle was her first true fight. As a result, she used too much force, which led to significant energy consumption. However, seeing the outcome of the battle, a slight smile appeared on Lu Wangshu's delicate face. Wangshu, they'll take these corpses back with me, and then have the enforcement hall investigate later, said Xianxia to Lu Wangshu through a message. The sudden appearance of these 6 Foundation Establishment cultivators was clearly a targeted act by other forces. Regardless of which force was responsible, since they dared to disguise as robber cultivators and perform such acts in public, Qingyun's sect had the right to investigate. However, under normal circumstances, if the matter wasn't too serious, Qingyun's sect wouldn't spend time and effort on it. But since she was a true disciple and the direct heir of the Enforcement Hall master, if she wanted to investigate the matter, the Enforcement Hall would naturally give face. I burnt the corpses to a crisp. That won't be a problem, will it? Lu Wangshu was momentarily stunned upon hearing this. She had been somewhat nervous during the fight. Therefore, she didn't hold back, and the last 3 were almost reduced to ashes. It's okay. "These 3 are enough," Xianxia replied softly. She hadn't reminded her daughter earlier because she didn't want to impact her performance, which might have led her to be shackled. Immediately after, the 2 of them cleaned up the battlefield and returned to the entrance of the marketplace. The cultivators at the scene looked at the 2 of them with respect and awe, unconsciously clearing a path for them. "Qingzi, Qingyin, cousin Muping, I'll leave the cleanup here to you," said Lu Wangshu with a smile. After such an event in the marketplace, it was definitely necessary to manage the aftermath and reassure the public. But like her father, Lu Changsheng, she didn't particularly like dealing with daily trivialities. Okay, replied Lu Qingzi and Lu Qingyin, still immersed in the aftermath of the battle, somewhat dazed as they nodded. "Wangshu, you have worked hard. Well, take it from here," said Lu Muping, taking a deep breath and nodding. He then rose into the air and addressing the crowd, he said, "Fellow Taoists, I apologize for today's incident at the marketplace. We have wasted your time. Search * the novel F. Ire at website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality." At that moment, after exchanging a few words with Lu Miaoge also stepped forward, using a voice amplification technique, and said, "As compensation, next year our Blue Lake Mountain Lu family will offer a genuine Foundation establishment elixir for auction again in the Red Leaf Valley Market. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 12:18. If any Taoist friends possess the materials for Foundation establishment elixirs, our Blue Lake Mountain Lu family also welcomes you to come and refine Foundation establishment elixirs. Our Blue Lake Mountain Lu family has always adhered to a policy of cooperation and shared prosperity. Our family's commercial association is in the preliminary stages of formation. If any Taoist friends have ideas, you are welcome to come to Red Leaf Valley Market or Blue Lake Mountain to discuss potential collaborations. As a collaborator, should our Blue Lake Mountain have Foundation establishment elixirs in the future, we will prioritize supplying them to our internal partners, Lu Miaoge spoke out loud. In her speech, she continued to express her family's stance, unwilling to make enemies with other family forces. She hoped to cooperate with all forces in harmony and prosperity, to work together and shoulder to shoulder in cultivating a magnificent future. The recent ambush by robber cultivators had made Lu Miaoge and Li Xingruo realize that the forces targeting them were not simple. Otherwise, it would be impossible for there to be 6 Foundation establishment cultivators. Faced with this situation, their Blue Lake Mountain Lu family naturally could not rely solely on strength to subdue everyone. They still needed to attract more cooperative partners. It's not about making these forces pledge allegiance to Blue Lake Mountain. But the attitude was clear. As long as one is willing to form a good relationship, benefits would follow. If one were to act against us in the shadows, our Blue Lake Mountain is not to be trifled with either. Xianxia the Nellfire. Inti website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. What? A genuine Foundation establishment elixir. This Blue Lake Mountain just auctioned a subpar Foundation establishment elixir, and now they're releasing another one next year, prioritizing internal partners for supply. The Lu ancestor is generous. Blue Lake Mountain is magnanimous. Many cultivators, upon hearing this, were immediately excited and spoke out loud. And some loose cultivators, deep in thought, pondered whether if they were to join Blue Lake Mountain, there might be a chance to obtain a Foundation establishment elixir. Foundation establishment elixir. All parties, upon hearing this, not only felt tempted but also discerned additional implications in the words spoken. It might be that Blue Lake Mountain is not currently in dire need of Foundation establishment elixirs. Lu Miaoge was representing Blue Lake Mountain, actively extending goodwill to the outside world. Just at this moment, Lu Miaoge felt a premonition, and an yin-yang sensing talisman appeared in her hand. This is Flower Fruit Mountain has been attacked. Lu Miaoga, seeing the signal from Flower Fruit Mountain, slightly furrowed her brows. She immediately realized that some forces were taking advantage of the current situation to make a move against Flower Fruit Mountain. Lady Lu, at this time, several Foundation establishment ancestors stepped forward, wanted to inquire with Lu Miaoga about cooperation with the Commercial Association. I have some matters to attend to. In a few days, my Blue Lake Mountain will hold a Foundation establishment ceremony for my daughter Wuxia. If Daoist friends wish to discuss cooperation with the Commercial Association, you may come to Blue Lake Mountain at that time for a detailed conversation. Lu Miaoga spoke apologetically. She was not very clear about the details of Commercial Association cooperation and needed Lu Xingyang and others to determine the specifics. Moreover, seeing the distress call from Flower Fruit Mountain, she had to rush over to see the situation. Very well, I will surely attend at that time, said an eager elder. Lady Lu is blessed with a daughter like Wuxia, truly a matter for celebration. With Miss Wuxia's stunning talent, her future is boundless, and a golden core is to be expected. The Foundation establishment ancestors present, regardless of their private thoughts, all stepped forward to offer congratulations and spoke kind words. As for the recent robber cultivator incident, it also gradually faded from focus with the news announced by Lu Miaoga. Miaoga, if you were to go alone, there could be danger on the way. I will accompany you. Lu Yuanzhong, hearing that Lu Miaoga was heading to Flower Fruit Mountain, immediately spoke up. Danger! Lu Miaoga, upon hearing his words, paused for a moment in her heart. She had third-rank talismans and second-rank puppets in her possession, along with the golden armor being mother, fearing no common Foundation establishment adversaries. But Lu Yuanzhong's words still made her more cautious. Uncle, please watch over father here. I will go ask Xiyu to come with me. After some thought, Lu Miaoga spoke out. She then found Xianxia and explained her intentions. All right, Xianxia, hearing this, glanced at her daughter and nodded slightly. Soon after, the two women disguised themselves and quietly left the Red Leaf Valley Market, heading toward Flower Fruit Mountain. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1219, Flower Fruit Mountain. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, 3 Foundation establishment cultivators are continuously bombarding the Great Formation around Flower Fruit Mountain, causing the Array Formation spiritual light to flicker wildly, alternately bright and dim, generating loud, explosive sounds. Damn it! Lu Qingquan's expression is tense as he fully oversees the Great Formation of Flower Fruit Mountain, watching the 3 cultivators outside who are attacking the formation. Through their prohibition-breaking talismans and forbidden-breaking artifacts, he realized that the 3 had been plotting for a long time and were not merely ordinary robber cultivators, but rather targeting a specific power of his family. Because ordinary robber cultivators wouldn't spend so many prohibition-breaking talismans, nor prepare forbidden-breaking artifacts. Red Leaf Valley Market is currently holding an auction, and this attack clearly came prepared. Even if I send a message home, I estimate it won't be soon enough for my father and aunt to come to our aid. Moreover, while I'm under attack here, White Tiger Mountain might be under attack too, and currently, only Qing Song is stationed there, which could be even more dangerous. Lu Qingxian is continuously pondering in his heart, feeling that he cannot just sit and wait for death, and must take the initiative to strike. 1 middle stage Foundation establishment, 2 initial stage Foundation establishments. Relying on talismans Thunder, Fire, Mysterious Lotus, can I repel the 3 of them? Lu Qingxian continues to calculate in his heart, although he is only at the 2nd level of Foundation establishment. But with a flawless Dao Foundation and possessing the pseudo-divine ability, Thunder, Fire, Mysterious Lotus, he is confident in battling against a middle-stage Foundation establishment cultivator, even potentially killing the opponent. However, facing 3 Foundation establishment cultivators, he isn't very confident, although he can escape using the substitute talisman given by his father if defeated. But if he were defeated, the second-rank Great Formation of Flower Fruit Mountain, without the administration of a Foundation establishment cultivator, would not last long. Boom, boom, boom. The Great Formation of Flower Fruit Mountain rumbles under the bombardment. Whenever a prohibition-breaking talisman is used, the formation creates a loud noise. The spiritual light dims, causing rolling layers of misty fog. The three Foundation establishment cultivators not only came well-prepared, among them a thinly built, masked elder at the mid-stage of Foundation establishment also understands formations, constantly seeking weak points in the Great Formation while bombarding. No, we can't keep dragging this out. If support from my family doesn't arrive in time, continuing to drag this on will only become more and more dangerous. Lu Qingquan's whole Buddhist qi is linked with the Great Formation, his internal qi, blood, and mana surging violently. Realizing that if he doesn't get support and once the formation breaks, he will also be too weak to fight back. Sister Ya, Qingyu, you manage the formation, switch from defense to offense. I'm going out to try and deal with them. Lu Qingxian, with a solemn expression and the thunderfire flames rising in the depths of his pupils, speaks gravely, ready to leave the formation to fight. With a second-rank talisman and the pseudo-divine ability Thunder, Fire Mysterious Lotus, even if he can't defeat the three, he can make them pay a heavy price. Then, even if the three don't retreat, they won't have the strength to break the formation. Qingxian, as long as Father and Anne arrive, the crisis will be resolved by itself. If you go out now, more harm will come in good. Lu Xiaoya, hearing this, hurriedly said, Sister Ya, these three clearly came prepared. Our family is currently holding an auction at Red Leaf Valley Market, and they might be tied up there, unable to come in time. Moreover, White Tiger Mountain might also be under attack at this time, so dragging this out will only become more and more dangerous. Lu Qingxian immediately shook his head, sharing his speculations. This, Lu Xiaoya, hearing this, clenched her teeth tightly, knowing indeed as Lu Qingxian had said, but still exclaimed, Qingxian, there are three of them outside if you... Lu Qingxian did not wait for Lu Xiaoya to finish speaking confidently and firmly. Don't worry, if I go all out, I'm confident I could take down one or two of them. And with the life-saving talismans from Father, I won't have any danger, even though he didn't really have this confidence deep down. But at this moment, he must display a strong sense of confidence. Brother Qingxian, he'll be with you, assisting you in the battle. Lu Qingyu, hearing this, slightly clenched his teeth and said, he is only at 8th level energy refinement, but he has 3 second-rank talismans in hand. And Flower Fruit Mountain also has 1 second-rank puppet. No, you stay here to guard, in case there are other forces spies at home. Lu Qingxian shook his head in refusal. Saw the Novelier, an ET website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Apart from their siblings, Flower Fruit Mountain also had recruited guest elders and laborers of spirit plants. Among these people, they couldn't be sure if there were cultivators harboring malice, secretly planted by other forces. Thus, a constant alertness was necessary. Of course, in his opinion, this brother, only at 8th level energy refinement, facing Foundation establishment cultivators, even assisting in the battle would be quite dangerous. Having said that, Lu Qingxian handed the array plate to Lu Xiaoya, his life-bound spiritual artifact, the Thunderfire Scepter appearing in hand. Swoosh! He, holding the purple-red Thunderfire Scepter, with his magical robe billowing, surged out of the great formation of Flower Fruit Mountain. There's a way to heaven, yet you don't go. There's no door to hell, yet you intrude. Since you want to throw your life away, we will fulfill your wish. The three, seeing Lu Qingxian charging out of the formation, instantly had looks of doubt, surprise, and delight in their eyes. They did not expect Lu Qingxian to take the initiative to come out of the formation. If Lu Qingxian hadn't come out, they would still need to spend a lot of time and effort to break the formation. However, seeing a junior at Foundation establishment daring to face the three of them, A few notes of irritation also surged in their hearts, thinking that he was completely disregarding their presence. Thunder, Fire, 9 Arts, Thunder, Fire, Dragon. Lu Qingxian did not speak, his expression resolute, with his purple-red scepter emitting thunder arcs continuously flashing. The surging mana caused the treasure bead on the top of the scepter to emit rolling, intense flames. Roar! Accompanied by the spread of thunder and fire, a terrifying thunder-fire dragon formed at the top of the scepter appeared, roaring towards the sky, charging at the three of them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1220. Do you really think everyone from By Lake Mountain is like Lu Pingon? If it wasn't for Lu Qingsong holding a talisman treasure and having a second-order spiritual beast, how could Lu Pingon be so arrogant back then? The three of them immediately redirected their offensive towards Lu Qingxian, their might surging and their killing intent-piercing. Boom, boom, boom. The collision of mana from both sides swiftly suppressed Lu Qingchuan's Thunder Fire Flood Dragon under the trio's assault. Buzz! Just then, the spiritual light surged within the great formation at Flower Fruit Mountain. The formation's azure light flowed, with faint purple glows wriggling like little snakes, forming a ring of light, pressing down towards the three attackers. Heavenly thunder, earth fire! Lu Qingxian coldly shouted, frantically channeling mana into his thunder fire scepter, creating infinite fierce flames around him while bolts of thunder streaked towards the trio. This kid is only at the early stage of Foundation establishment. How can he possess such fighting power? His cultivation technique is not simple, definitely not an ordinary one. Where did Lu Changsheng get such a cultivation technique inheritance? Wasn't he only supposed to have talisman path inheritance? After a brief exchange of blows, the three were astonished by Lu Qingxuan's combat strength. It is known that all three of them come from the Jinlong Ridge gene family, practicing exquisite level cultivation methods. Their strength far surpasses that of small family forces or average loose cultivators at Foundation establishment. Yet now, the trio found themselves unable to instantly suppress Lu Qingxian. Even the masked elder thought that if he battled Lu Qingxian singly, he wasn't completely confident of killing him. By Lake Mountain indeed still has many secrets. This child must not be spared. As long as we kill this child, even if we can't break open Monkey Hill and destroy the Spirit Fruit ley lines, it will still be a heavy blow to By Lake Mountain. The three exchanged a glance, their expressions grave, all unreservedly unleashing their killing moves. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A golden bowl magic artifact erupted in dazzling golden light, enveloping Lu Qingxian and making his whole body suddenly heavy. At the same time, a fierce flash of golden light appeared. In the midst of the golden light, it seemed as if a dragon claw was fiercely attacking Lu Qingxian. Not good. Lu Qingxian immediately sensed a dangerous aura from the golden dragon claw and shook his thunderfire scepter in hand. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Thunder light surged, forming a wall of thunder in front of the dragon claw. Crack! But in an instant, cracks appeared in the wall of thunder. This spiritual artifact is specifically designed against body-protecting magic barriers. Lu Qingxian immediately realized the extraordinary nature of this dragon claw spiritual artifact and quickly took out a second-order supreme talisman, the Golden Light Indestructible Talisman, from his storage bag. In an instant, an oval, impenetrable light of golden light emerged, protecting him within, as if flowing with an undying luster. Clang! The golden dragon claw struck the golden light, resulting in a sound of metal clashing. A second-tier top-grade talisman, Lu Changxing really is quite wealthy. The trio, seeing the golden protective light flowing around Lu Qingxian, immediately recognized it as a second-order top-level talisman. Otherwise, their high-quality spiritual artifact, designed to specifically break through defensive magic barriers, cannot be blocked by ordinary techniques. Kill. The three did not think too much. They all performed hand gestures for incantation and continued their onslaught toward Lu Qingxian with formidable and domineering vigor. Qingxian. In Flower Fruit Mountain, Lu Xiaoya and others saw the situation, saw Lu Qingxian at a disadvantage, and shouted with some concern, signaling him to quickly return to the protective formation. It won't work. Even the Golden Light Indestructible Talisman can only withstand a few hits. Since that's the case, let's fight with all we've got. Lu Qingxian slightly gritted his teeth, gripping a second-order top-grade talisman in his sleeve. He then tossed the Thunderfire Scepter in his hand, performed gesture incantation with both hands, and the scepter danced wildly, filled with rolling thunder and flames. Thunder fire seals the heavens. Endless thunder and fire rolled and spread, like a hurricane sweeping through, tumultuous and violent, completely shrouding Lu Qingxian. Second-order top-grade talisman, Unfounded Thunder Fire Talisman. Lu Qingxian took advantage of the brief gap to activate an attack talisman, creating rolling heavenly thunder and earth fire, targeting the weakest foundation establishment cultivator among the three. He knew that he had to break through them one by one now. As long as he killed one of them, he could alleviate his own dire situation. Not good. This kid still has a second-order top-grade talisman. Just how many talismans did Lu Qingshan give them? Be careful. Do not be negligent. The three, seeing the sudden onslaught of heavenly thunder and earth fire, were all startled and promptly shifted from offense to defense, summoning their magic artifacts to form a majestic body-protecting spiritual light. Boom, boom, boom. The incessant thunder and fire bombarded the three's protective spiritual light, making the heavens and earth aglow with blinding light and lightning. Lu Qingxian looked at this scene with a trace of fierceness in his eyes, then suddenly extended both hands, his Qi Ocean core mana boiling and surging. Rumble! Thunderous roars exploded in the void. On his left hand, a terrifying and violent purple thunder arced and surged. On his right hand, a scorching and overbearing red flame rose and spread. Thunderfire, mysterious lotus. Lu Qingchuan's body surged with mana, slowly gathering the thunder and flame in his hands, displaying a divine skill he had never used in actual combat before. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The moment thunder and flames touched, a terrifying energy burst forth, making the void seem to twist. CTH Novel Fire, NE*T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Qingchuan's mana crazily surged, his face veins bulging, as he pushed this divine skill to its limit. At this juncture, it's either they die or he dies. After all, he has the substitute talisman. In a life-or-death crisis, he could escape with his life. With that being the case, what is there to fear? Today, I will make a name for myself. A surge of pride erupted in Lu Qingchuan's heart, determined, his hands continuously forming gestures, causing the two wildly violent energies to slowly merge. This was the first time he had pushed this divine skill to the extreme, his hands splitting and bleeding from the energy leaking from the thunder fire mysterious lotus. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 12:21. Lu Qingxian bore the intense pain in his palm as he concentrated two streams of power into a palm-sized, dark red lotus seat, with thunderous arcs of electricity weaving around it. CTH Novel F. Ire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. What kind of technique is this? The kid is getting desperate. Fall back. At this moment, three people dissolve the thunder, fire, unwarranted talismans, endless thunder fire, ready to continue their pursuit of Lu Qingxian. However, the lead cultivator at the middle stage of Foundation establishment sensed an incredibly dangerous aura from the dark red flame in Lu Qingchuan's hand, causing him to shudder in horror and fear. Realizing that Lu Qingxian was employing some kind of secret technique, a move out of sheer desperation, they wanted to dodge its sharp edge. Swish, swish, swish. The other two also realized something was amiss and immediately transformed into beams of escape light, tried to avoid the imminent danger. Thinking of escaping now, it's too late. Lu Qingxian's resolute and handsome face, illuminated by the dark red fire lotus and ghastly pale, looked at the three people with a sneer, then fiercely flung the dark red lotus seat in his hand at the distant trio. Swish! The dark red lotus seat, fused with thunder and flames, silently cut through the void, making no sound as it traveled. Yet it made the three fleeing cultivators' hair stand on end, chilled to the bone, feeling as if a terrifying force full of destructive energy had locked onto them. The lotus seat rapidly shot towards the center of the three, and the calm dark red lotus seat suddenly became violently turbulent, then explosively expanded. Boom! An earth-shattering, deafening explosion resounded. The palm-sized dark red lotus seat swelled madly. A surge of violent and destructive energy burst forth at visible speed, tearing into all directions like roaring serpents, seeking the three cultivators fleeing in escape light. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The dark red, lightning flames swept across the sky, causing the temperature of the surrounding environment to rise rapidly. Inside Flower Fruit Mountain, Lu Xiaoya, Lu Qingyu, and all the others watched with shock and bewilderment as the terrifying wave of fire washed over the sky. It was too horrifying. The might was simply too terrifying. It didn't seem like something an initial stage of Foundation Establishment cultivator could do. The second-rank Great Formation of Flower Fruit Mountain flickered crazily with spiritual light under the aftershocks of this mana, as mist permeated the air. Ah, damn it, what kind of technique is this? Among the three, the two at the initial stage of Foundation Establishment saw their talismans and body-protecting magic barriers shatter in an instant under the destructive thunderfire assault. Then their magical robes and bodies burst, turning into ashes. Only the fastest fleeing masked elder managed to stabilize himself by relying on several second-rank talismans, a magical robe, and a body-protecting magic artifact. But even then, under the onslaught of thunderfire, his skin was charred, blood flowed, and white bones were fearfully visible, a sight of utter misery. His face ghastly pale, he looked towards the equally pale Lu Qingxian in the distance, his eyes filled with shock and fear. He couldn't understand how an initial stage of Foundation Establishment cultivator, and one who had not breached 10 years into his cultivation, could possess such astonishing methods, not to mention for an initial stage. He would believe it even if it were described as a technique of the late stage of Foundation Establishment or the peak of Foundation Establishment. Go, we must go quickly. Although he saw Lu Qingxian was extremely weak, all he could think about was fleeing. Because he was also down to his last breath, he must hurry back to heal and save his own life. What technique is this? At this moment, Lu Xiaoya, Lu Qingyu, and the others were still stupefied, murmuring to themselves. They were all familiar with Lu Qingxian, but they had no idea that Lu Qingxian possessed such a technique, having never seen it before. Brother Qingxian. Then, Lu Qingyu saw Lu Qingxian plummeting from the sky and immediately shouted. He rushed out of the formation, picked up the disheveled, pale-faced Lu Qingxian, whose palms were bloody and almost showing white bones, and brought him back inside the great formation of Flower Fruit Mountain. As for the three Foundation Establishment cultivators from before, because the mushroom cloud-like surge of thunderfire had enveloped the sky, he could not see clearly and did not know what had happened at the moment. However, judging from the power of the thunderfire, he felt that they were most likely dead. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1222, Golden Dragon Ridge. At this moment, Golden Dragon Ridge is on full alert. Suddenly, An elder with torn robes, a pale face, and a back split open revealing stark white bones fell from above. Sixth elder, what happened to you? A patrolling member of the Jean family immediately recognized the elder and cried out in shock. Hurry, send a message to the patriarch. There's a big secret at by Lake Mountain. The Lu child, the elder said weakly with a ghastly pale face. But before he could finish, he violently spat out a mouthful of scorching, black blood and passed out. Sixth elder. The Jean family member did not dare to move the sixth elder, fearing it would worsen his injury, and quickly sent a message to the patriarch. A moment later, the patriarch of the Jean family arrived with several people. What on earth happened? Seeing the elder with charred flesh, bleeding profusely, and extremely weak breath, he hurried forward, his expression grief-stricken. Not long ago, through the soul plate, he was aware that 2 Foundation establishment elders of the family had perished, suspecting there was an ambush at Flower Fruit Mountain. So he directly ordered the family to go into alert mode. Unexpectedly, the only surviving 6th elder was also injured to such an extent. Patriarch, the 6th elder, only said something about a big secret at by Lake Mountain, but he passed out before he could finish his sentence. The nearby Jean family member immediately reported, his expression filled with fear, not understanding what had happened. By Lake Mountain. This time, both the Yuan family and the Sima family made moves against Red Leaf Valley Market. How could By Lake Mountain still have the strength to set up an ambush at Flower Fruit Mountain? The patriarch of the Jean family's face turned extremely unsightly upon hearing this. Concerned about his own 6th elder's injury, he didn't dare to hesitate, took out a bottle of spiritual liquid from his storage bag, poured on the 6th elder's wounds to stabilize the situation, and then brought him into the Golden Dragon Ridge for treatment. Patriarch, judging by the 6th elder's condition, even if he wakes up, his lifespan won't be much longer. After examining the 6th elder's condition, the doctor began treatment and spoke solemnly. This 6th elder was over 140 years old. With such serious injuries, even if he recovers, he would have at most 10 years to live. That too, only if he avoids fighting. If he were to fight again, he might not live past 3 to 5 years. What? The patriarch of the Jean family, upon hearing this, clenched his fists tightly and couldn't help but let out a sorrowful roar, his face full of unwillingness. These 10 years have seen the Jean family's rise and fall. Firstly, the family birthed a second false core immortal, leading the family to an unprecedented peak. But before they could even rejoice, the family patriarch was inexplicably killed by the heretic cultivator at Huji Ridge, causing a severe blow to the family's vitality. Now, just as the family was starting to recover some vitality, they lost 2 Foundation establishment cultivators and had another half crippled. This situation was a heavy blow to the Jean family. Without 3 to 5 decades, they might not recover. The ambush by Lake Mountain might target our Golden Dragon Ridge. This must be reported to the patriarch. A while later, the Jean family patriarch muttered to himself. The novel, F. Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. They had even considered asking the patriarch to assassinate Lu Xianxia before. But considering the patriarch's divine skills and unfinished magical treasures, there was a great risk in killing Lu Xianxia, so they did not divulge the family's plan to Jean Zan. However, now with the plan having failed and the family suffering a severe setback, he had no choice but to inform the patriarch. Meanwhile, Lu Miaoge and Xianxia hurried to Flower Fruit Mountain. When they learned that Lu Qingxian single-handedly killed 3 Foundation establishment cultivators, they were both surprised and incredulous. What happened? It was only previously that Lu Wangshu alone subdued 5 robber cultivators at Foundation establishment. Now, is Lu Qingxian also single-handedly defeating 3 Foundation establishment robber cultivators? Are their children all so outstanding? Thunder Fire Lotus Seat? Lu Miaoge, upon hearing Lu Zioya's rough description, guessed it might be one of the methods that her husband gave to their son. After all, Lu Xianxia often provides their children with treasures for self-protection. even though they were not clear about the specific situations or combat abilities of these children at home. Just as previously when Lu Wangshu faced 5 robber cultivators at Foundation establishment. Lu Miaoge and Xianxia actually did not know the exact combat strength of this daughter, nor how many talismans and third-rank talismans she had in her storage bag. The two did not ask further, and, together with Lu Xiaoya, went to a courtyard. Lu Miaoge and Lu Xiaoya entered the room and saw Lu Qingxian on the bed, pale and weak. Qingxian greets Auntie. Seeing Lu Miaoge, Lu Qingxian hurriedly got up to pay his respects. Qingxian, rest well. Lu Miaoge had little contact with his son, but as the lady of the Lu family, she was gentle and generous towards all her children. Then, with a light lift of her hand, she began healing Lu Qingxian with Tai True water. During the process, she noticed that Lu Qingchuan's mana was exhausted and his physical body, meridians, and dantian were in an overloaded state. Seemingly, he had executed a technique far beyond what his current state could bear. If not properly recuperated, it could even impact his foundation. Auntie, I acted somewhat rashly. Miaoge noticed the slight frown on Lu Miaoge's face and spoke up immediately. He explained that he had deduced the 3 cultivators had come prepared, so he suspected that Red Leaf Valley Market and White Tiger Mountain might also have been attacked. That's why he did not wait for reinforcements. Your guess is not wrong. Indeed, other powers targeted us this time. Lu Miaoge shook her head slightly, not blaming Lu Qingxian. Although White Tiger Mountain was not attacked, the simultaneous appearance of robber cultivators at Red Leaf Valley Market and Flower Fruit Mountain was clearly orchestrated by some power. She suspected that she and Xianxia did not encounter any assault on their way, because the crises at Red Leaf Valley Market and Flower Fruit Mountain were resolved, prompting the enemy to abandon the ambush. After treating Lu Qingxian, Lu Miaoge and Xianxia went to scout the situation outside Flower Fruit Mountain. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1223. Under the onslaught of the Thunder Fire Mysterious Lotus, 2 cultivators in the early stages of Foundation establishment turned to ashes along with their flesh, magic artifacts, magical robes, and storage bags. However, from the subtle clues, the 2 women could tell there were signs of only 2 bodies, meaning one person must have escaped. 9 Foundation establishment cultivators. This definitely isn't the work of a single power. Lu Miaoge's eyebrows slightly furrowed as she spoke in a low voice. Even a false core stage family wouldn't be able to dispatch 9 Foundation establishment cultivators all at once. Therefore, it's more likely that multiple powers acted. Or perhaps some powers spent a fortune to hire robber cultivators and loose cultivators to take action. I will have people investigate after I return to the sect. Xiaoxia's visage and body were shrouded in a hazy glow, and she seemed like a bright moon, cold and holy. Shiyu, thank you for your trouble, Lu Miaoge said earnestly. If this incident could prompt the Qingyun sect to act and gather some information, it would serve as a significant deterrent. It's no trouble. Xiaoxia's voice was calm and indifferent. Although she did not have any aversion to Lu Miaoge, and even felt somewhat close to her, but unless she was facing Lu Changsheng or Lu Wangshu, she couldn't help but radiate an aloof aura that kept others at a distance. As Lu Qingxian was presently weak, the 2 women did not leave immediately. Lu Miaoge sent a message home, hoping that Xia Zizhu or Li Xingyu could come and oversee Flower Fruit Mountain for a while. By Lake Mountain, Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, Red Leaf Valley Market suffered an attack by 6 robber cultivators. Flower Fruit Mountain encountered an attack by 3 robber cultivators. In the Changsheng Hall, Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly as he listened to Lu Miaoge's words. He didn't expect that his family's auction would provoke such a commotion. He glanced at the white golden cocoon on the bed, continuously absorbing nature's spiritual energy, and after pondering for a moment, he stepped out of Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven with Lu Miaoyan. He later led Xia Zizhu silently away from Bai Lake Mountain to Flower Fruit Mountain. Changsheng, you've come. Lu Miaoge and Xianxia didn't expect Lu Changsheng to arrive so quickly. They thought to themselves, is this the travel speed of a nascent soul immortal? Search asterisk than a fire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Shiyu, Sister Miaoge. Lu Changsheng had just sensed Xianxia with his divine sense, so he wasn't surprised and asked about the specific situation of Red Leaf Valley Market and Flower Fruit Mountain. After hearing that Xianxia would take the bodies of the three to the Qingyun sect to request an investigation from the enforcement hall, Lu Changsheng immediately said softly, Shiyu, thanks for your trouble. It's nothing. Xiaoxia's usually cold eyes appeared much softer at this moment. Then, Lu Changsheng went to a courtyard to visit his son, Lu Qingxian. Father! Lu Qingxian in the room heard the noise, and was surprised to see Lu Changsheng getting up in a hurry like a child who had done something wrong, and quickly paid his respects. You shouldn't be moving around with your injuries. Lu Changsheng's palm lifted slightly, and an invisible man of force made him lie down, saying gently, the situation here has been made known to me. You did very well. Although at that time, Lu Qingxian could have just defended himself using the Great Formation and awaited reinforcements. But his decision then was not wrong either. In the midst of speaking, Lu Changsheng stepped forward to check on Lu Qingxuan's injuries. Knowing that his son's exhaustion resulted from deploying the Thunder Fire Mysterious Lotus, leading to mana exhaustion and physical burden. He took out several bottles of elixir medicines from his storage ring and handed them over. Thank you, Father. Lu Qingxian felt relieved. Perhaps it was his mother's teaching when he was young, or the seldom interaction with his father, but he always felt there was an imposing aura about his father. He was also somewhat worried that his own actions might displease his father. In the future, you should focus on recovering at home and must not use mana. Your Aunt Jiue will take care of things here at Flower Fruit Mountain. Lu Changsheng spoke. Although Xia Zizhi's combat power was weak, overseeing the Great Formation's operation shouldn't be a problem. If there was any issue, they just had to message him right away. Yes, Father. Lu Qingxian nodded and complied. After that, Lu Changsheng asked about the techniques, magic artifacts of the three, and then returned to Red Leaf Valley Market with Lu Miaoge and Xiaoxia. Damn, Lu Wangshu was surprised to see Lu Changsheng's arrival. But soon she expressed with a wronged expression how hard this battle had been for her. Lu Changsheng glanced at his daughter, seeing that it was just an excessive drain of her energy, and reassured her that a few days of rest would suffice. But thinking of his daughter's diligent efforts in Red Leaf Valley Market for the last few months, he still uttered a few words of comfort. Wangshu, you'll send Juyo back to White Tiger Mountain later. Lu Changsheng uttered with slight contemplation. Originally, White Tiger Mountain and Flower Fruit Mountain could support each other immediately. But now, only Lu Qingsong was holding down White Tiger Mountain and dared not leave lightly. If they had the 9 Netherhound with them, it would be much better. All right, Daddy, I could go to White Tiger Mountain to oversee things. Hearing that Flower Fruit Mountain had also been attacked, Lu Wangshu knew that her father was not in a good mood, so she agreed obediently and even volunteered. Good. Wangshu, thank you for your hard work. Lu Changsheng lovingly stroked his daughter's hair, thinking that she was sensible after all. Then, Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoge went to visit Lu Yuanding. Damn, Lu Yuanding was resting. His siblings Lu Qingxi and Lu Qingxian were accompanying their grandfather. Lu Yuanding was a light sleeper, and as he heard the commotion, he opened his cloudy eyes, his voice old and slow. Changsheng, you've come, father-in-law. Lu Changsheng could clearly see the fading life force of his father-in-law, Lu Yuanding, and feared that he might not last more than a few days. Don't be sad. Seeing the grandeur of Red Leaf Valley Market like this, I have no regrets. Lu Yuanding noticed Lu Changsheng's solemn expression and managed to squeeze out a smile on his wrinkled, liver-spotted face, showing a calm acceptance of his own death. After speaking, as if struck by sudden thought, Lu Yuanding looked towards Lu Miaoge and said softly, "Miaoge, I wish to return home, back to Qingzhou Mountain. If you find any errors," ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., "please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1224. Lu Miaoge's heart trembled violently upon hearing these words. She had been attending to her father's physical body for these past few days, well aware that he was in a state of utter fatigue. The words he spoke now clearly conveyed his desire to return to his roots and die on Qingzhou Mountain. "Miaoge, your dad has lived to a ripe old age, and seeing you and Changsheng achieve so much, I have no regrets." Lu Yuanding's aged face had a tinge of red glow as he spoke to his daughter. "All right, let's go home. Xin'er, sure, let's accompany Grandpa back home." Lu Changsheng took a deep breath and nodded. Although he was still concerned about Bai Ling back home, he was ready to accompany his father-in-law, Lu Yuanding, on his final journey. The next day, the news about the incident in Red Leaf Valley Market, where the daughter of the master of Bihu Mountain, Lu Changsheng, had slain 5 Foundation establishment robber cultivators, quickly spread among all nearby family forces and continued to ferment, spreading throughout the entire Qingyan region. The news was astonishing. For an average Foundation establishment cultivator, being able to overpower those of higher cultivation levels or fight against multiple opponents would already be remarkable. Yet Lu Wangshu managed to kill 5 Foundation establishment cultivators at the early stage of Foundation establishment, which was simply unbelievable. How could someone at the early stage of Foundation establishment kill 5 Foundation establishment cultivators? That's impossible. If you said he was at the late stage of Foundation establishment killing 5 at the early stage, that might make sense, but at the early stage, how could he possibly possess such strength? Exactly. What does this make other Foundation establishment cultivators look like? Punching bags? Back in the day, Lu Changsheng only killed 3 Foundation establishment cultivators. Many people doubted and questioned the news when they heard it, as such a thing was too fantastical to believe. However, many witnesses observed the event that day, so quite a few people accepted it as fact. Talisman cultivator, top-tier talisman path inheritance. Drawing talismans in the void? A battle burning through hundreds of talismans. Doesn't that mean it's equivalent to spending tens of thousands of spirit stones on a single fight? No wonder it was so fierce. This isn't a contest of skill, it's burning money. Those spirit stones could have been spent on hiring assassins. Master of Bihu Mountain, Lu Changsheng, became famous for his talisman path in his early years. Who would have thought that after several decades, such an extraordinary successor would emerge in his house? I remember Lu Changsheng also had a son called Lu Pinggan, who at the early stage of Foundation establishment repelled a veteran Foundation establishment cultivator. Now a daughter appears who at the early stage can kill 5 Foundation establishment cultivators. What's with the Lu family? Now that you mention it, this Lu ancestor's fertility seems rather exceptional. CTH novel, F. Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. I've heard that Lu ancestor in his early years was known for his love of women, taking many concubines and having many children. Could it be that he has some sort of special spiritual body for childbirth? Many people discussed animatedly, marveling at Lu Wangshu's combat prowess. And while they talked, they speculated about whether Lu Changsheng possessed any special fertility spiritual body. Flower Fruit Mountain was attacked, and the defending Lu family disciple Lu Qingxian used some technique to drive away 3 Foundation establishment cultivators single-handedly, suspected of killing all 3. What's going on with Bihu Mountain? Why are its family's young ones each so fierce? They're nearly on par with the core disciples of the immortal sex. Thunderfire attribute technique? Wasn't Lu Changsheng notable for his talisman path? Where did the Thunderfire attribute technique inheritance come from? Lu Qingshan, Lu Pinggan, Lu Wangshu, Lu Qingxian. Such fortune It seems that Lu Changsheng might very well possess some kind of fertility spiritual body. The matter of Flower Fruit Mountain and Lu Qingxian was overshadowed by the brilliance of Lu Wangshu and was not widely known, with only various forces being aware. These forces were utterly shocked upon hearing both pieces of news. After all, one could easily justify Lu Pinggan's situation as normal. One could still barely justify Lu Wangshu's situation, acknowledging that Lu Changxing indeed has strong vitality. But now another Lu Qingxian has appeared. Familial powers like some major families are also aware of Lu Qingshan's situation, thus seriously suspecting something is amiss with Lu Changsheng. At this moment, these family forces are even more wary of Bihun Mountain. Had there not been this probing attempt, this move, who would have known that Bihun Mountain had hidden such depth, suddenly revealing two such fierce children? One might suddenly encounter a few more ferocious children any day. No, with a situation like that at Bihun Mountain, if it rises to prominence, where would there be a place for us to stand? The emergence of so many foundation establishment cultivators in Bihun Mountain must be related to the family's alchemists. By now, announcing the offer of free foundation building elixir, on one hand, shows they have accumulated enough strength, and, on the other hand, it's also a way to earn spirit stones and foundation establishment resources. Exactly, and each foundation establishment cultivator requires a considerable amount of resources. Bihun Mountain's business of only spiritual fish and puppets definitely cannot support such expenses. As long as we cut off the Lu Family Commerce Association, no matter how many foundation establishment cultivators they have in the future, they'll run out of money to cultivate them. We absolutely cannot allow Bihun Mountain to establish a successful commerce association. Instantly, many powers realize that the Lu family is still only working within their own limited domain. But once the commerce association is established, it may bring calamity to these family powers, leading to direct financial loss. If Lu Changsheng truly possesses such a special spiritual body and has children with me, maybe this Lu Pinggan's mother is just a mortal, and Lu Qingshan's mother was just a servant girl to Lu Changsheng in his early years. As a foundation establishment cultivator, if I become a Tao companion with Lu Changsheng and bear children, many forces are thinking about stifling the Lu Family Commerce Association to hinder its development. But there are also many forces considering using this opportunity to form good relations with Bihun Mountain, marrying into a union with Lu Changsheng, becoming Tao companions, and then producing several exceptionally talented children. Even if these children belong to Bihun Mountain, as long as they are properly educated, they could still favor their maternal family in the future. Apart from the shock from outside, the news of Lu Wangshu's endeavors also spread back to Bihun Mountain, startling countless Lu family disciples. They knew this sister was formidable, but they never expected her to be this formidable. All of a sudden, everyone seemed to understand why their father cherished Lu Wangshu so much. One person slaying 5 foundation establishments, Lu Caijin and Lu Xingchen, who had just reached foundation establishment, were all feeling moved. They felt like trash compared to Lu Wangshu. It seems that only Ling Xiao can be compared to Sister Wangshu. Lu Xingchen thought of the time when Lu Ling Xiao had a breakthrough, and his father mentioned that he had a spiritual body pondering in his heart. I wonder, once I've raised over 10,000 iron fire ants, if it'll possess such combat power. In a courtyard, Lu Xianxia heard the news and gazed at the iron fire ants in his blood nest bag, murmuring to himself. No wonder father had Sister Wangshu stationed at Red Leaf Valley Market. Lu Xingyang was full of feelings. When his father asked him to find his sister, Lu Wangshu, to guard Red Leaf Valley Market, he felt that this sister wasn't very reliable. Now it seems that the father had far-reaching insight and had long been aware of her strength. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1225. Lu Changsheng was not too clear about the outside world discussions, nor did he care. He had been living quietly in Qingzhou Mountain these days with his wife Lu Miaoge, son Lu Qingxian, and daughter Lu Qingqi, accompanying his father-in-law on his last journey. "Daddy, if I seriously learn to draw talismans, can I be like Sister Wangshu?" Lu Qingqi had seen Lu Wangshu's capabilities in Red Leaf Valley Market and aspired to be like her. You can ask your sister Wangshu for advice in your daily life. CTH Novel Fire. Net asterisk website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Changsheng did not directly answer, gently stroking his daughter's hair, and spoke in a gentle voice. "I asked Sister Wangshu before, and she told me to just be happy and enjoy food and drink every day, not to think too much." Lu Qingqi pouted as she spoke. Lu Changsheng paused, thinking that such words could only come from Lu Wangshu. "Dad, a talisman cultivator can casually use hundreds of talismans, but once the talismans run out, doesn't that mean their strength will greatly diminish?" Lu Qingxian, who was at his side, voiced a question. He had been accompanying his grandfather Lu Yuanding at that time, so he did not witness Lu Wangshu slaying 5 robber cultivators. He only heard that this sister used up several hundred talismans in the act. Yes, this is one of the drawbacks of being a talisman cultivator. Lu Changsheng slightly nodded, explaining the strengths and weaknesses of talisman cultivators to his children. In the courtyard, Lu Yuanding lay in a recliner, looking towards Lu Changsheng, clad in a green robe and handsome, talking to his children in the distance. His thoughts involuntarily drifted back to over 60 years ago, when he had brought Lu Changsheng back to Qingzhou Mountain from the foot of Qingyan sect. He vaguely remembered hesitating when he first heard that Lu Changsheng had only a 9th grade spiritual root. Who would have thought that the country boy rejected by Qingyan sect would grow to such an extent unnoticed? Lu Yuanding's mouth curled in a faint smile, and a flurry of memories swept through his mind like flickering scenes. "Changsheng," Lu Yuanding's throat bobbed, calling out hoarsely with a weak and breathless voice. "Dad." Lu Miaoge was using her mana to nourish her father's physical body at his side. But Lu Yuanding's essence, qi, and spirit had already dried up, almost completely gone, rendering it useless. "Father-in-law." Lu Changsheng immediately approached the old man. Even though he had experienced such farewells as the 4th elder before, his heart was still filled with complicated emotions. "Changsheng." Lu Yuanding slightly lifted his hand, grasping Lu Changsheng's wrist, his voice seemingly carrying a plea. "Changsheng, Qing Shan has exceptional talent, but is too arrogant. As a father, if you see him, you need to discipline him more. Little Zhu is smart inside and out, and having her by Qing Shan's side will make him restrain his nature a lot. But the two of them staying outside for long still is not as safe as being at home. Should they encounter danger or trouble, it would be a big problem. Xianxia is intelligent and steady. He can manage the household and attain greatness in the future. Cheer like Huan Huan is playful and mischievous, yet her thoughts are pure, requiring a lot of your paternal tolerance and protection. Now that Qing Song has established his family, I am much more at ease, but all your siblings at home are too outstanding, each holding their breath in rivalry. When you have time, you should take care and pay more attention to him." The old man muttered, his voice growing fainter and weaker, scarcely having enough strength, as if he was making final arrangements. He was very reassured about his 2 daughters. The only thing he could not let go of now was his grandsons. Lu Miaoge's eyes were red, and tears streamed down her face. "Father-in-law, rest assured, I will take good care of them." Lu Changsheng, upon hearing the old man's last words, felt a heavy weight on his heart, and while holding his wife's hand tightly, he spoke in earnest. "Good." The old man, upon hearing this, nodded in relief. Then he gently turned to look at his grandchildren by his side. "Xianxia, don't be too sad. You must be as outstanding as your brothers and sisters in the future." After speaking, the hand holding Lu Changsheng's palm slowly loosened, and with a peaceful smile, he closed his eyes. "Dad." Overwhelmed by emotion, Lu Miaoge cried out in sorrow. Although she had always been aware of her father's condition, now that the moment truly arrived before her eyes, she found it hard to maintain her composure. Grandfather, Lu Qingqi, who had a delicate little face, was also in sorrow, tears flowing. Lu Qingxian pursed his lips, not crying out loud, but his eyes were red. Over the years, he had always been in Qingzhou Mountain, very close to his grandfather Lu Yuanding. Lu Changshang silently held his wife and children. Once his wife's mood stabilized, he informed Lu Yuanzhong, intending to hold a joyous funeral for Lu Yuanding. Lu Yuanding had arranged everything in advance before his life ended, instructing that the funeral should not be elaborately conducted. Lu Miaoge chose to follow her father's last wishes. Nevertheless, given that Lu Yuanding was an elder of Qingzhou Mountain and the father of Lu Miaoge, as well as the father-in-law of Lu Changsheng, the funeral was still quite grand, with many family forces voluntarily coming to pay their respects. Dad. Lu Miaohuan from by Lake Mountain, upon hearing the news, felt an ineffable sorrow well up within her. Lu Miaoyun, who had experienced such things before, actively comforted her cousin. After Lu Wangshu took charge of White Tiger Mountain, Lu Qingsong also immediately came to Qingzhou Mountain. Sai, Lu Changsheng, looking at the aged Lu Yuanzhong, with only a few familiar faces left around from the old times of Qingzhou Mountain, sighed softly. Unknowingly, he had outlived generation after generation. Perhaps in a few decades, there would be no one left in Qingzhou Mountain that he knew in his early years. 5 days later, Lu Changsheng returned to by Lake Mountain with his wife and children. Huan. Upon his return, he first went to visit his wife, Lu Miaohuan. Without even thinking, he knew she must have been deeply grieving these days. Oh, Lu Changsheng, Lu Miaohuan, with her mature and gorgeous makeup, broke down like a child in his arms, crying out loud, releasing the sadness she had bottled up inside. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1226. Mother, don't be sad. Grandfather also hopes for you to be happy. Beside her, Lu Qingqi pressed her little face and held her mother's hand, speaking to comfort her. Lu Miaohuan wiped away the tear stains on her face, concealing her grief and sorrow with a gentle voice. Mother's fine. Lu Changsheng sighed inwardly, quietly accompanying his wife alongside their daughter. Wow, Mother, I didn't see it. Sister Wangshu whooshed and flew out so many talismans. Lu Qingqi vividly narrated the battle at Red Leaf Valley Market to her mother. She wasn't exactly admiring the might of such means, but she found them splendidly cool, especially when in the end, the talismans condensed into a phoenix. Wangshu is so powerful. Isn't that to say even more so than you, father, back in the day? Lu Miaohuan said with some surprise. She still remembered the time her sister broke through to Foundation establishment, and the dashing vigor with which Lu Changsheng alone vanquished the 3 Foundation establishment members of the Yu family. The 3 from the Yu family back then were not my limit, but the Yu family's limit. Lu Changsheng chuckled softly and spoke lightly. The couple had been together for many years. Naturally, he wouldn't be overly modest, still hiding things. Daddy, I heard grandfather saying that back then. Lu Qingqi suddenly voiced out, asking about the battle that took place years ago. Even though grandfather had told her about it, her interest had piqued once again. Back then, Lu Changsheng held his wife and jovially recounted certain events from the past to his daughter. In the evening, during the family meal, Lu Yun came to pay his respects. He expressed that he had made up his mind and chose to cultivate the heavenly longevity technique. Good, I will arrange for it after a few days, Lu Changsheng said upon hearing this. The spirit vein of Baiyun Peak is about to be promoted to a top-grade 2nd rank. When the promotion happens, the 2 nurturing branch veins connected to it will also form alongside Baiyun Peak's promotion, rising as 2 smaller peaks on either side of it. He had already planned and arranged for the new heaven and earth spiritual plant to be planted on these two mountains. "Thank you, Father," Lu Yin said respectfully after hearing this. Moments later, Lu Caixin also came to pay her respects to Lu Changsheng. "Caixin, what's the matter?" Lu Changsheng asked with a smile, seeing his daughter hesitate to speak. Father and daughter went to a side hall. Search asterisk the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Caixin took out a porcelain bottle from her storage bag and opened it. Inside was a foundation establishment elixir. "Father, this is what brother left for me, and now that I have reached foundation establishment, so I want to give this foundation establishment elixir to my husband." Lu Caixin looked at Lu Changsheng, pursing her lips, and spoke softly. She herself knew the rarity of a foundation establishment elixir. Having relied on one from home to break through foundation establishment, and now giving another to Hong Xuanji seemed somewhat inappropriate. Moreover, their family is currently in the limelight, watched by many forces. If Hong Xuanji attempt foundation establishment, whether successful or not, it could catch the attention of others and bring about trouble. Since Qianjin gave it to you, how to allocate this foundation establishment elixir is your own affair. Lu Changsheng chuckled softly. He knew early on that his son Lu Qianjin had in his possession multiple foundation establishment elixirs. But he didn't know that Lu Qianjin had given one to Lu Caixin. However, as for giving the foundation establishment elixir to Hong Xuanji, he had no objections. After all, the couple had been married for many years. As a father, he couldn't possibly prevent his daughter from giving it away. Could he? Besides, Hong Xuanji, as his son-in-law and an old friend's son, had worked diligently in by Lake Mountain for decades with no lack of toil. You can just discuss this with Xuanji yourself. The family can provide him with a cave mansion for his breakthrough, Lu Changsheng said, after a slight pondering. He knew his daughter came to him not only to confess about the foundation establishment elixir, but also hoping the family could provide Hong Xuanji with a cave mansion. Otherwise, Hong Xuanji would have to go to Immortal City or Qinyan Market for his foundation establishment attempt. But in Immortal City, Qinyan Market, the journey is long. Without connections, it's not easy to rent a cave mansion, and one would need to wait in line for a long time. "Thank you, Father." Hearing this, Lu Caixin's beautiful and fair face revealed a smile. If Xuanji succeeds in his foundation establishment at this stage, unless it's a matter of life and death, he should also not reveal his foundation establishment strength, Lu Changsheng said to his daughter. While he agreed to his son-in-law's foundation establishment, family secrets had to remain within the family. "Don't worry, Father. Your daughter understands." Lu Caixin knew her father agreed to this matter out of consideration for herself and her father-in-law Hong Yi, so naturally, she wouldn't ask for too much. "The matter of your foundation establishment, aside from Xuanji, for the time being, try not to spread it. Wait a few more years, and I will arrange," Lu Changsheng continued to instruct. "Don't worry, Father." Having lived through many years, Lu Caixin was no longer naive and fully aware of the stakes. MHM. In terms of foundation establishment insights, you can guide Xuanji and help him prepare in advance. Lu Changxing nodded slightly, with no further comments. He wasn't worried about his children leaking the details of Mount Sumeru, Cave Heaven. Once the children divulge such family secrets, the Lu family genealogy would sense it and provide a warning. MHM, thanks, Dad. Lu Caixin departed joyfully, feeling relieved and unburdened of her worries. I wonder how Qianjin is doing now. At this moment, Lu Changxing thought of his son Lu Qianjin. This son, not long after his foundation establishment, went out to travel, claiming he would visit Azure Phoenix Immortal City and then go to the Gene Kingdom for experience. For over 20 years, there had been no news. If it weren't for the system, Lu family genealogy, Lu Changxing would even worry that his son had met with an accident. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1227. However, through the system, Lu Changxing knew that his son's condition should be fine. His cultivation level had broken through to the 4th layer of foundation establishment 4 years ago. Jin Kingdom. Thinking of this place, Lu Changsheng took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. In his earlier years, he had thought of going directly to Jin Kingdom after reaching core formation. But now with a pile of issues at home, he couldn't leave just yet. He would have to wait until everything at home was stable and Hong Lian was in charge before he could feel at ease to head to Jin Kingdom. Jin Kingdom. Chu Chan Tian. They'll see where you can run to today. In a range of mountains, over 10 cultivators were in pursuit of a young man in a black robe. Leading them was a tall man with the cultivation level of the late stage of foundation establishment. He was maneuvering a giant sword exotic treasure, constantly slashing towards the young man in the black robe, causing the mountains to rumble and ravines to form, with Xianxia rolling down. The young man in the black robe was no ordinary person either. He moved like a sky punk, as fast as lightning, continuously dodging the attacks. When in mortal danger, a golden light filled with a bloodthirsty aura would shoot out, dissipating part of the offensive force against him. Whoosh! Just then, the golden light suddenly turned towards the tall man wielding the giant sword exotic treasure. Oomph! The tall man faced the golden light with a cold snort. His body was covered in a green, shimmering armor that glistened brightly, forming a light screen 3 feet in front of him. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out. The light screen shattered, but the golden light could advance no further, immediately turning around and vanishing without a trace. This 6-winged golden silkworm is indeed extraordinary. If it weren't for my green vine armor, such an attack would indeed be dangerous. The tall man narrowed his eyes, touched his chest, and continued to direct his mana to chase the young man in the black robe with the exotic treasure giant sword. The others behind him found it difficult to keep up with the pace of the two, and were gradually left behind. If this continues, it will be hard to shake them off, and eventually my mana will run out. This young man in the black robe was none other than Lu Qiuanjin, who was out gaining experience. After a brief visit to Azure Phoenix Immortal City in his early years, he came straight to the cultivation world of Jin Kingdom. Although it was more chaotic and ruthless than Jiang Country, he found it relatively adaptable. However, in the previous years, the marketplace he was in was suddenly the battleground of 2 factions, and as collateral damage, he fled, killing a feminine young man in the process. Who knew that this young man turned out to be an elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, son of a ghost demon Jinren. Since then, he was hunted by the ghost demon Jinren, and his escape began. Thankfully, the cultivation world of Jin Kingdom is so vast that even a nascent soul immortal would have difficulty capturing someone who keeps a low profile. Several months ago, he was recognized during a fight due to his 6-winged golden silkworm, and that once again spurred pursuit. At this moment, Lu Qiuanjin saw a continuous forest to the south. Saw the novel F. Ire at website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. A layer of purple-black mist seemed to loom over the entire forest, like poisonous or miasmic gas, eerily cold and sinister. Lu Qiuanjin narrowed his eyes slightly and immediately flew towards the forest. Black Mist Swamp. The tall man saw the direction in which Lu Qiuanjin was escaping, and his eyes narrowed. The Black Mist Swamp had a not-so-small reputation in Jin Kingdom, with a poison miasma that lingered throughout the year and was difficult to dispel. This poison not only eroded a cultivator's chi blood and physical body, but also had the effect of blocking divine sense. For a regular Foundation Establishment cultivator, it was impossible to use divine sense within the Black Mist Swamp. Thus, the Black Mist Swamp was extremely dangerous, and normal Foundation Establishment cultivators couldn't survive there for long before the poison would erode and corrupt their chi blood and physical body. Even a nascent soul immortal entering, it would be suppressed due to their divine sense being blocked, making it difficult to defend against dangers. Chu Chan Tian. Now you have no path to heaven and no door to earth. Where can you escape to? The tall man trailed at the back, slowing down his pace, not in a hurry to chase. After all, if Xianxia dared to venture deep into the swamp, he only needed to seal off the area with more people. There's something wrong with this forest ahead. Hearing these words, Xianxia immediately realized there was a problem with the forest ahead and that he shouldn't enter recklessly. But seeing the people catching up from behind, he looked at the forest swirling with purple-black miasma, gritted his teeth, and decided to take a risk. After all, under the current situation, it was impossible for him to shake off his pursuers, and his only option was to seek a slim chance of survival using this forest. Kid, if you have the guts, you can go in. The tall man pushed forward with the exotic treasure, giant sword, gradually approaching, and said with a sinister smile, "Swoosh!" Xianxia rushed into the black mist forest, and instantly a surge of poison miasma hit his face, as if it wanted to corrode his flesh. His black magical robe flapped, with spiritual light flowing around his body. He ran swiftly, trying to find another way out. You think you can just leave? It's not that simple. The tall man immediately entered the forest, following closely behind Xianxia like a ghost. Moments later, the dozen or so people who had come with him, hesitating slightly at the sight of the purple-black miasma twirling around the forest, also stormed in, blocking the direction Xianxia had taken, leaving him with no choice but to move deeper into the forest. After Xianxia ventured several miles in, he suddenly felt that the poison miasma here was several times more intense. Even with the magical robe's spiritual light protecting his body, threads of poison gas penetrated his pores, entering his body, eroding his flesh and blood. I must say, gentlemen, if you go on chasing me, even if I am eroded by the poison miasma, you won't fare much better, will you? Xianxia shouted to the people behind him. We can hold on at this level. You can keep on running if you're capable, the tall man said coldly. In this area, the purple-black miasma made his vision hazy, unable to see too far, so he didn't chase too closely to avoid Xianxia's sneak attack using the six-winged golden silkworm or starting a fight here. After all, once they engaged in battle, the miasma entering the body would be very troublesome. He just joined the others in loosely encircling Xianxia's position, waiting for an opportunity. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1228. Xianxia continued to run for several miles. The poisonous miasma here was even more intense, like a water mist drifting hazily through the air. Even though Xianxia's physical body was extraordinary, and he was protected by a magical robe and magic barrier, he could still feel his flesh being eroded by strands of poison. How can this youth, who has just broken through to the mid-stage of Foundation establishment, persist for so long? The tall man watched Xianxia's unceasing flight, his face growing dark. He thought that after entering the black mist swamp, the other party wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. Yet, so much time had passed, and he was still like someone unaffected. We can't go any further. This is the true black mist swamp, filled with many dangers. Poisonous insects and fierce beasts could appear at any time. The tall man said loudly to the others. This statement also reached Xianxia's ears, but he paid no heed and continued onward. Damn it! How deep this kid has penetrated. Could it be that he has some kind of method to fearlessly face the poisonous miasma of the black mist swamp? The tall man looked at Xianxia, almost disappearing into the poison fog, his face changing between shades of light and dark, eventually deciding to give up the pursuit. After a series of assassination attempts, he had already realized that Xianxia was no ordinary person. Now that he had entered the black mist swamp, continuing the chase could likely put himself in jeopardy as well. Immediately, the tall man instructed his men to seal off the area. He then led a few people to retreat, waiting for Lu Qiuanjin to appear. After all, the poison of the Black Mist Swamp was pervasive, always eroding a cultivator's flesh and blood, necessitating the use of mana to isolate it. And the spiritual energy of the Black Mist Swamp was mixed with the poison, which ordinary cultivators could not absorb and refine. They could only rely on elixir medicines and spirit stones for recovery. Therefore, even if Lu Qiuanjin had unusual methods, he couldn't possibly hide inside for long. Given up, seeing that the tall man and others had abandoned the chase, Lu Quanzhen's eyes narrowed slightly, pondering on how to break through the encirclement. It was extremely difficult to break the siege now. The only way was the substitute talisman given by his father. But unless it was absolutely necessary, when truly trapped with no way out, he did not want to use that substitute talisman. After thinking for a long time, Lu Qiuanjin finally came up with a method. But he was also not sure if this method was feasible and hesitated somewhat. Uncle taught me Kunpeng swallowing heaven demon god technique, with the yin-yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique as the upper part, and Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique as the lower part. This Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique can devour the origin source of living beings and all kinds of spiritual energy from heaven and earth. Perhaps it can also consume the poisonous miasma and poison gas here. Lu Qiuanjin mused to himself. Although Uncle had instructed not to practice the latter half of Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique before achieving core formation, he had contemplated this part of the demonic techniques after turning the 5 elements Kunpeng technique into the yin-yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique. He understood why his uncle did not allow him to cultivate this technique, because it is a forbidden technique, an outright demonic technique. It refines the essence, qi, and spirit of other living beings for one's own use by devouring them. Once one cultivates it, unless one abandons the technique, there is no way to switch to other cultivation techniques. Moreover, during the cultivation process, because it involves devouring the origin source, essence, qi, and spirit of others, it is very easy to be affected in one's temperament, leading to deviation or even bodily explosion and death. And breaking through realms with this technique is several times more difficult than with ordinary techniques. Breaking through core formation from foundation establishment may trigger a heart demon tribulation or even a heavenly tribulation. Although I have not cultivated the later part, yin-yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique and Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique are one and the same. Through the refinement secret technique within, maybe it can refine this poisonous miasma. After pondering for a moment, Lu Qiuanjin decided to give it a try. If it worked, he would not only resolve the current crisis, but also gain several more methods. Immediately, Lu Qiuanjin glanced in the direction of the tall man and continued to move forward, found a large rock to sit down next to, released the 6-winged golden silkworm to protect him, and then sat cross-legged, operating the yin-yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique. Whoosh! A small fish flowing with the yin-yang 5 elements was seen leisurely swimming within his qi ocean core. Swallowing heaven method. Lu Qiuanjin activated the secret technique of the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, and his muscles slowly showed tadpole-like dark runes, mysterious and terrifying. In this process, his yin-yang 5 elements flowing small fish gradually transformed into a blood-red dazzling fish, seemingly ready to soar into the skies at any moment, turning into Kunpeng and devouring the heavens and earth. It is unclear how long it took, but black runes flowed through Lu Quanzhen's body, his 84,000 pores opening like black holes, emitting an intimidating aura. Search * the novel fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Roar. The blood-colored fish roared, morphing into a ferocious and terrifying Kunpeng behind Lu Qiuanjin, as if a deep abyssal beast ready to devour other souls. The poison that seeped into Lu Quanzhen's body was instantly like boiling water, refined by a domineering power into rolling spiritual energy. This secret technique, so domineering. After some time, Lu Chuanjin abruptly opened his eyes, his expression both excited and shocked. Excited, indeed, as he guessed. He could devour and refine the poisonous miasma. Shocked at how domineering this secret technique was. He had not yet cultivated the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, relying solely on the operation of yin-yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique had such astonishing effects. If he were to master Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, how amazing would the effect be? Why does Uncle have such a domineering demonic technique? Lu Chuanjin murmured to himself, very surprised. Having been in the Jin Kingdom for so many years, he had encountered many demonic techniques used as shortcuts in practice. But compared to his own technique, there was a world of difference. Although I can refine the poisonous miasma with Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, it is still very difficult to break out from here. Lu Chuanjin thought to himself, aware that his crisis was still far from resolved. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1229. This swampy mountain range is extremely dangerous. Ordinary cultivators dare not enter. There might just be some fortuitous opportunity, heavenly and earthly treasures. Since I am not afraid of the miasma, I can fully explore here. Perhaps I might find some opportunity and find another exit. Lu Chuanjin examined his surroundings. In his heart, he had another option. That was to directly cultivate the Kunpeng swallows the heavens demonic technique. As long as he cultivated this technique, he could swiftly increase his strength by devouring fierce beasts or the group of people outside, thereby solving the crisis. However, considering his uncle's admonishments, worried about the other side effects after cultivating this technique, he temporarily gave up this idea. Otherwise, in his eyes, this was a very good choice. As for the cultivation technique being contrary to heaven and full of the demon path, Lu Chuanjin felt all right about it, without any particular emotions. He believed in his own heart, confident that he would not lose himself to this power and that he could control it. The heart. Lu Chuanjin let out a low chuckle, looking at the six-winged golden silkworm next to him emitting a fierce and bloodthirsty aura, his palm lightly raised, placing it into his sleeve. Then he glanced towards the direction of the tall man and others, his eyes narrowing, and strode towards the deeper parts of the swamp. Blue Lake Mountain. Lu Family Mansion. Inside here is a Foundation Establishment elixir, Divine Sense Foundation Establishment spiritual objects, Lu Changsheng said as he looked at his children. Son Lu Yunlu and daughter Lu Xingyue had finally finished their marketplace tasks and returned to Blue Lake Mountain. For these two children, Lu Changsheng did not take them to attempt a breakthrough at Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven. Instead, he prepared Foundation Establishment elixirs, Foundation Establishment spiritual objects, and elixir medicines that nourish their foundations for them, so they could go back to Qingyun's sect and attempt Foundation Establishment. This, Lu Yunlu and Lu Xingyue, seeing the elixir medicines and Foundation Establishment spiritual objects handed out by their father, both appeared dazed. Even though over the years, they had always heard about family matters and knew that their own family had channels for Foundation Establishment elixirs. But they had not expected that their father would actually give each of them a Foundation Establishment elixir. It has to be known, even the children of great families or disciples of immortal sects won't possibly have a Foundation Establishment elixir each. They have to rely on their own efforts to compete for it. Child thanks father. Lu Yunlu took a deep breath, bowing with hands clasped together. He knew that, without the support of the family, relying on himself, he could at most exchange for a meridian-protecting elixir and 1 or 2 Foundation Establishment spiritual objects before the age of 60, in order to attempt Foundation Establishment. With his 6th grade spiritual root, the likelihood of Foundation Establishment was very low. If he accepted this gift, then he would have a not small chance of breaking through to become a foundation-building great cultivator. Daughter also thanks father. Lu Xingyue, seeing this, hesitated for a moment and also accepted the gift. During this return, spend more time with your mother. They all miss you very much. Lu Changsheng said with a gentle face. These children often came home in the early years, but as time passed, the frequency of their returns gradually decreased. This journey to receive the sex mission was even a few years without coming home. Yes, father. The two of them replied respectfully and then left the hall. Looking at the familiar scenery of Blue Lake Mountain before them, both of them still appeared somewhat dazed, as if in a dream. They didn't expect that the foundation establishment elixir they had longed for so much would be obtained so easily. Yin Lu, brother, I offer my early congratulations for your hopeful foundation establishment. Lu Xingyue said to Lu Yunlu. Although the two siblings are not from the same mother, they joined the Qingyun sect together, and their relationship is still very good. She knew that this brother, although of a solitary disposition, had a much stronger conviction in foundation establishment and seeking the Tao than herself. These years, most of his time was spent earning spirit stones, all in order to exchange for more foundation establishment spiritual objects when the time came, thereby attempting foundation establishment. I believe, Xingyue, you can also break through foundation establishment. Lu Yunlu took a deep breath and nodded. Without delay, the two of them went to pay respects to their own mother, to visit the younger brothers and sisters at home. Sigh. Lu Changsheng watched the backs of these two children as they left, heaving a slight sigh. With the two regularly cultivating in the Qingyun sect, they inevitably become a bit estranged from home. Just like when son Lu Qingshan came home, apart from a few individuals, there isn't much closeness with most of the brothers and sisters. At this moment, he couldn't help thinking of his daughter in Jin Kingdom, whom he had never met. She grew up under the care of the Five Poisons cult and Nangong Meili since childhood, and even if she were brought back by him, it might be difficult for her to integrate into the family. But in the end, I have to see her. Lu Changsheng sighed in his heart, returned to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, and continued to watch Bai Ling, who had transformed into a white golden cocoon, wondering how long it would take her to break out of it. I also wonder how Zi Xiao and Ping Gan are doing. At this time, Lu Changsheng thought about the family's commercial affairs. Counting the time, it had been over 3 months since Lu Pinggan and the others had set out. Merely auctioning a foundation establishment elixir in Red Leaf Valley Market had caused such a big stir. The establishment of a commercial guild would surely make some powers restless, secretly taking action to obstruct. Unless a core formation old ancestor takes action, I think there shouldn't be big problems. Lu Changsheng shook his head lightly, feeling somewhat missing his daughter Lu Lingyi. At this very moment, Ling Zixiao was inspecting the situation in a marketplace with her son Lu Lingxiao, Lu Lingyi, and Lu Rui, preparing to buy some shops. After being busy for a while, they went to a restaurant to eat. I heard that some time ago, a foundation establishment elixir was auctioned off in Red Leaf Valley Market, attracting 5 robber cultivators to make a move. These 5 robber cultivators weren't after the foundation establishment elixir. They were targeting Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. I happened to be in Red Leaf Valley Market at that time. TSK, Blue Lake Mountain is really something. Back then, just after Lu Changsheng's foundation establishment, he alone killed 3 foundation establishment cultivators and established Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. Now, one of his daughters even killed 5 foundation establishment cultivators. It's all because of the talismans. If I had a good dad who could randomly burn a few hundred talismans, I would also have this kind of combat power. If I were the son of a nascent soul true lord, wouldn't I be even more successful? To tell the truth, I suspect that Blue Lake Mountain now probably has 10 foundation establishment great cultivators. Regardless of whether it's true or not, Blue Lake Mountain Lu family is now considered the first cultivation family among the 6 big false core families. In the main hall, many cultivators were chatting and boasting while dining. Many of them were discussing the affairs of Blue Lake Mountain and Red Leaf Valley Market. After all, This incident is considered a rare big news in Qingyun region and naturally spread widely. Talisman Fairy Lu Wangshu killed 5 Foundation establishment cultivators by herself. Lu Lingxiao was stunned when he heard this, his expression one of shocked disbelief. He was even planning to return home to challenge this sister after the business trip. To his surprise, he heard news about this sister here, killing 5 robber cultivators by oneself. Wasn't that astonishing? Even though he was confident in his invincibility among his peers and vastly stronger than ordinary Foundation establishment cultivators, he was still shocked by this news. Wow, sister is so incredible. Lu Lingyi next to him heard this, and her little mouth was slightly agape, her face full of excited surprise. She then looked towards her brother Lu Lingxiao and said, "Brother, are you still planning to challenge sister when you get back? Maybe just forget about it." Wang Shu killed 5 robber cultivators. Lu Rui was also somewhat dumbfounded. In her opinion, being invincible among her peers was already quite impressive. As for fighting 1 against 5 and killing them all, even she, as a Foundation establishment cultivator, found it hard to imagine such a scene at the moment. "Xiao, what's wrong? Were you hit hard?" Ling Zixiao, dressed in a lake blue palace dress with her hair neatly arranged, looked dignified and elegant, and said to her son with a gentle smile. Perhaps having witnessed Lu Changsheng's prowess, she wasn't too surprised by such a record. However, seeing her son like this, as a mother, she naturally needed to offer some comfort. "No, I'm just a little surprised." Lu Lingxiao shook his head slightly, his face angular and well-defined, with features somewhat resembling his mother Ling Zixiao. Especially his eyes, even though his gold pupils were hidden, were still bright and full of expression, piercing like torches. Search the novel Fire, NE*T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Ling Zixiao knew her son had always been tough and said with a light laugh, "Wang Shu, as a talisman cultivator, if equipped with enough talismans and forming a talisman formation with them. Indeed, she would have no equal among her peers and could easily overcome higher levels, but a talisman formation is not invincible either." In her early years, because of the dragon roar physique, which prevented her from cultivating, she spent a lot of time on talisman formations and understood them deeply. She knew that talisman formations were not truly invincible. Like most formations, they had weak points. If during a duel, one could find these weak points and break the talisman formation, then by using close combat and other tactics, one could prevent the talisman cultivator from executing further moves. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1230. The Great Tao is 50. Nature yields 49 and withholds 1. Talisman formations and many other formation techniques share similar principles. Ling Zixiao slowly spoke, instructing his son. His son, Lu Lingxiao, had a talent for the formation path. Although he hadn't spent too much time on it, he had an early start. Furthermore, with his eyes and exceptional pupil skill, as long as he could discern the weak points of a talisman formation during combat and utilize the destructive power of the devastation flame to break through the talisman formation, he stood a chance against Lu Wangshu. But sister has many puppets, and once close, it's likely to be besieged by the puppets. Moreover, sister is very strong. Last time I went to see her, she punched through the back mountain with a single fist. At this moment, Lu Lingyi, who was beside him, spoke up. She was very close to Lu Wangshu and knew many of her sister's methods. Therefore, she always advised her brother not to challenge their sister anymore. Ling Zixiao was at a loss for words upon hearing this. He thought to himself that Lu Wangshu, being the beloved daughter of his husband, indeed could not be judged by common standards. Knowing the disadvantages of a talisman cultivator, surely his husband was very much aware of them. It's possible that he had already compensated for his daughter's weaknesses. With this in mind, Ling Zixiao looked at his son with a sense of resentment for his stubbornness and excessive pride. Don't you know that a crying child gets the candy? Your father has always preferred a gentle approach over a forceful one. That's the strategy he succumbs to. However, the son did inherit this temperament from his mother, and she didn't have much to say, but simply consoled. It's okay, shower. It's good to exchange pointers with your sister Wuxia on normal days. However, after the sparring, if there is anything unclear, you should ask your father for advice. Although it's likely that the son is no match for Lu Wuxia. But on the path of cultivation, having such a talented sister to compete against can serve as motivation, and that in itself is a good thing for the son. Besides, their father probably wouldn't be so biased to always watch his son being bullied by his daughter, right? Brother, sister's really nice. You just need to compliment her a few times. Lu Lingyi spoke up for her sister from the side. Your brother and sister are just pushing each other forward and motivating each other, not truly having a feud, Ling Zixiao said warmly as she rubbed her daughter's head. This daughter was carefree and cheerful, adored by everyone in Blue Lake Mountain. Although Lu Wuxia often teased Lu Lingyi, she did take good care of her younger sister daily. Otherwise, Lu Lingyi wouldn't get along so well with Lu Wuxia. Oh. Lu Lingyi nodded her little head, half understanding. After the meal, Ling Zixiao inquired about shops in the marketplace that sold information to learn more about the Red Leaf Valley Market. It seems that this journey is going to be more troublesome. Ling Zixiao looked at the information and let out a faint smile on her elegant face. Then she gave a few instructions to her children and Lu Rui before leaving the marketplace. The trade convoy had not entered the marketplace and stayed outside. Lu Pingon was guarding here. Aunt Rui Ling Xiao. Lu Pingon called out immediately when he saw Ling Zixiao and the others. Big Pa, I brought you something delicious. Lu Lingyi, very close to her eldest brother Lu Pingon, cheerfully handed him the packed meal box. Thank you, Xiao. Lu Pingon responded with a smile. Pingon, I heard some news in the marketplace. Ling Zixiao stepped forward and shared the news from the Red Leaf Valley Market and some anticipated situations. She indicated that there might be false core level forces directly intervening soon, so they had to be extra vigilant. Aunt, I understand. After a slight surprise at the combat power of Lu Wuxia, Lu Pingon nodded seriously. The convoy then set off, with Lu Lingyi cozily chatting and eating with her big brother. Big Pot, let me tell you, this is super delicious, so I ordered 2. Big brother can't finish so much. They'll share some with you. Oh, I'm already full. Okay, I'll just eat a little bit, just a tiny bit. Sorry, the novel Fire. Net asterisk website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. After leaving the marketplace, the convoy headed towards a small Qi refinement family. Dealing with a small family might not earn many spirit stones, but business is about accumulating small gains. Moreover, trading with such small families can lead to partnerships or earn profit by hitching rides or taking advantage of opportunities along the way. This day, as the convoy passed through a forest path, they saw 3 figures standing ahead, blocking their way with drawn swords and horses. May I ask if this is the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family of the Evergreen Commerce Association? The person in the middle spoke. He was in his 30s, with a heroic face, sword-like eyebrows extending into his temples, and his voice full of vigor. Lu Pingon stepped out of the carriage, exchanged a glance with his sister Lu Rui, and addressed the man seriously. I am Lu Pingon of Blue Lake Mountain. May I inquire the identity of your esteemed self? Lingxi Lake, CF family, Xiang. The man with sword-like eyebrows declared loudly. Lingxi Lake? One of the 6 false core families of the Qingyun region, Lingxi, CF family. Xiang, the 5th elder of the CF family, Xiang. Hearing this, both Lu Pingon and Lu Rui's expressions became slightly tense. The other members of the convoy, upon hearing Lingxi Lake, also expressed their surprise and some panic, not expecting to encounter a false core family blocking their way. The name of Blue Lake Mountain Lu family is well known to us at Lingxi Lake. However, there's an unwritten rule between our families that to establish a commerce association, one must measure their strength. Therefore, today Xie is here on behalf of our family to witness the divine skills of our Taoist friend. If Taoist friend's strength is extraordinary, not only will my Lingxi Xie family support the establishment of your commerce association, we will also apologize for our impoliteness today. If Taoist friend does not possess the strength, it might be best to retreat now. After all, there are other powers behind that may block the way or even set an ambush and act insidiously. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1231. Xiang sized up Lu Pingan before him and said aloud, "Originally, the CF family did not wish to interfere with the affairs of the Lu Family Commerce Association. But upon hearing about the incident at Red Leaf Valley Market, they realized that by Lake Mountain was not to be underestimated. Therefore, they came to test the strength of By Lake Mountain. If besides the couple comparable to false core mortals, Lu Changsheng and Lu Wangshu, comparable to the peak of Foundation establishment, there were other top-tier combatants, then By Lake Mountain possessed the strength of a false core level force. In such a case, since their Lingxi Lake was far from By Lake Mountain, there was no need to create enmities, but rather they could cooperate deeply. I wonder how Taoist Xie wishes to be enlightened?" Lu Pingan, with his tall and majestic stature, took a step forward and replied. The direct approach of the other party showed their intentions, which he did not resist. After all, open attacks are easy to dodge, but hidden ones hard to guard against. Compared to openly honest combat, it's much better than those who strike from the shadows. I heard that this trade convoy is led by Taoist Lu and the noble lady of the Lu family, right? No need for others. As long as you all can overcome 3 of us, that is sufficient, said Xiang aloud. He had already thoroughly investigated the strength of Lu Pingan at the initial stage of Foundation establishment, but due to his second-order body refining, his combat power was among the top of the mid-stage of Foundation establishment. With the aid of a spiritual artifact, he could even be comparable to some in the late Foundation establishment. As for the strength of Ling Zixiao, he was not sure, but with the incident at the Red Leaf Valley Market, the Xie family believed that Lu Changsheng dared to send 2 people to lead this first trade trip, suspecting that they were not as simple as they appeared. My aunt dislikes fighting, so will be I. Lu Pingan spoke out, intending to express his willingness to fight 3 against 1. However, Lu Rui immediately interjects, "Big brother, let my brother and I experience Taoist Xie's expertise," saw the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Pingan, knowing his sister was also here for experience, quickly changed his words. Of course. Xiang glanced at Lu Rui, smiled and nodded. He had just noticed Lu Rui. He did not remember any Foundation establishment cultivator like her mentioned in the information about By Lake Mountain. 3 Foundation establishment cultivators. No wonder they are so confident. It seems that By Lake Mountain has hidden quite a few Foundation establishment cultivators over the years and now unable to sustain, hence the urgency in establishing a commerce association and auctioning Foundation establishment elixirs, thought Xie internally. At that moment, siblings Lu Lingxiao and Lu Lingyi stepped out of the carriage, observing the situation ahead. Were it not for his mother speaking up, Lu Lingxiao would have liked to fight. "Big pot, Sister Rui, good luck." Lu Lingyi, clad in a red martial outfit and standing on windfire wheels, cheered, helping to lighten the somewhat tense atmosphere. Okay, Lu Pingan smiled at Lu Lingyi, then sent a sound transmission to Lu Lingxiao. Lingxiao, watch over things here. Although they were openly and squarely facing each other, who knows if any tricks might be played, so it was better to be a bit cautious. Don't worry, big brother, Lu Lingxiao nodded. Ling Zixiao remained elegantly dignified, sitting in the carriage, quietly observing the outside situation. She did not plan to get involved in the fight this time, partly because her cultivation level wasn't high, only at the 4th layer of Foundation establishment. Furthermore, her cultivation technique, 12 capital demon divine technique would require killing to silence if she exerted full effort. Of course, it was also because Lu Changsheng had told her about Lu Pinggan's combat ability, and there was no need for her involvement. A moment later, Lu Pinggan's black dragon power circulated, and his tall and imposing body suited up in a glinting silver armor, with a pitch-black black dragon halberd appearing in his hands. Beside him, Lu Rui's tall body also donned a golden armor, shining brilliantly with flowing radiance, as she wielded a golden small sword. "Brother, Dad said that when you come home, you will have similar armor, and you would look really good in it," Lu Lingyi eagerly said to Lu Lingxiao as she admired Lu Pinggan and Lu Rui's armor. She really liked this type of armor, but Dad said she didn't need it yet and could not use it until her cultivation level was higher. Only then would they forge one tailored for her. Yes, Lu Lingxiao nodded slightly. He wasn't particularly looking forward to such armor, but was rather more eager for the attack's spiritual artifacts Father mentioned. "Daoist Xie, please," Lu Pinggan called out to the three individuals, his silver armor-clad body holding a black dragon halberd, stature as upright as a mountain, exuding a heroic and imposing aura. "Daoist Lu, please," Xie eyed the impressive Lu Pinggan, his eyes narrowing slightly before he glanced at the two beside him. All brandished their magic artifacts and soared into the sky. "Roar!" As Xie performed a gesture incantation, a surge of misty vapor rapidly filled the air, forming a fierce flood dragon hurtling towards Lu Pinggan. One of his companions, wielding a small drum, created successive water thunderbolts with each strike, which headed toward the pair. During flight, these water thunderbolts slowly merged with the vapor flood dragon, enhancing its might incrementally. The two were cultivating similar techniques. Therefore, their combined attack was more powerful than ordinary. The last person drove a blue flying sword towards them. "Rui, take the rear and handle the formation." Lu Pinggan faced such an offensive, his robust figure stepping forward. Boom! His formidable demon beast-like powerful aura enveloped the area, making the air itself seem heavier. His black dragon halberd instantly unleashed a dazzling light and swung forward. Although externally, he was a middle-stage second-order body refiner for this trade mission, clearly he could no longer afford to hide his true abilities. Father had also instructed that there was no need to be overly modest. Therefore, Lu Pinggan's strike utilized the 7th layer of body refinement. As for the 8th layer, the quasi-third-tier body refining, which was too shockingly extraordinary, he still knew restraint. Boom! The slash of the black dragon halberd seemed to split heaven and earth, directly cleaving the vapor-steamed flood dragon in two. Immediately after, the great halberd, wrapped in a force of wind and thunder, horizontally slashed, crushing the approaching water thunderbolts and flying sword. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1232. Such physical prowess? Xie Ying's eyelids twitched violently at the sight of the explosive physical strength that Lu Pinggan displayed. He immediately gestured an incantation, causing the shattered vapors to steam up and gather like a silver dragon waterfall, aiming to entangle Lu Pinggan's black dragon halberd. Buzz! Lu Pinggan tightly grasped the black dragon halberd and abruptly twisted it, making the great halberd tremble wildly, sounding like metal clashing, scattering the silver dragon. Subsequently, the chi blood in his body burst forth like a breached river, an angry dragon emerging from the abyss, casting a faint golden treasure light under the silver armor over his strong muscles. Thump, thump, thump. Wind and thunder raged around Lu Pinggan, with upsurging chi blood above his head like beacon smoke reaching for the clouds, charging towards Xie Ying and the other two like a horde of thousands of horses and soldiers. This! Lu Rui, witnessing this scene and wielding her flying sword, appeared somewhat dazed. Where am I, and what am I supposed to do? Big Brother has broken through the attacks of 3 people by himself. How can I plunder their formation? It would be more like Big Brother plundering for me. But Big Brother is also too impressive. Wow, Big Brother is so awesome. Lu Lingyi clapped excitedly as she watched Lu Pingon in action. It's just a bit strange. Why doesn't Big Brother use his fists and simply punch directly through them? Is this the power of the 8th level 100 refinements treasure body art? I wonder if Sister Wangxia's talismans can break through Big Brother's physical body. Lu Lingxiao stared at the majestic silhouette of his big brother, his pupils reflecting a hint of gold as he pondered. Big Brother is so powerful. This must be second-tier, top-level body refinement, right? Uncle Ping Gan's strength. The other disciples from Blue Lake Mountain Lu family and Qingzhou Mountain Lu family were also shocked by the scene, followed by surges of excited delight in their hearts. Knowing that Lu Pingon was there to support them, the business trip was essentially secure. Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. Quite a formidable Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. No wonder they dared to establish a merchant association at this time. Xie Ying's expression changed slightly as he saw the overwhelming momentum of Lu Pingon, filled with serious solemnity. He gestured an incantation, and his life-bound spiritual artifact, Hantan Pearl, flew out, radiating with frosty, rosy light. This cold energy combined with the vapors from his hand incantation to spiral and form ice-cold flood dragons charging towards Lu Pingon. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Pingan's expression remained calm as he swung the black dragon halberd. Each strike was as heavy as a mountain, as though collapsing the void, shattering the ice-cold flood dragons into a sky full of ice and vapor. Seeing the domineering Lu Pingon, godlike and demon-like, bearing down upon him, Xiang immediately spoke out. Taoist Lu, I concede. He had realized that it would not be easy for the 3 of them to defeat Lu Pingon unless they fought with all their might. But as there was no enmity between the 2 families, there was no need to go to war over such a trivial matter. Furthermore, his objective for this trip was to gauge the strength of Blue Lake Mountain. Now, Lu Pingon had proven with his strength that Blue Lake Mountain was as formidable as a false core family. Apart from Lu Changsheng and his wife Lu Miaoge, who were on par with false core mortals, there were also genuine body refining cultivators like Lu Pingon with the combat ability of the Foundation establishment late stage. Not like Lu Wangshu, who relied on talismans and external items as a Foundation establishment cultivator. Moreover, considering Blue Lake Mountain probably had about 10 Foundation establishment individuals, it was not to be looked down upon and was worthy of acknowledgement from the Xie family. Taoist Xie, I am honored. Seeing this, Lu Pingon revealed a gentle smile on his upright martial face. Taoist Lu, I apologize for the offense today. This is a small token of my Xie family's sincerity. Please accept it. Xiang took out several brocade boxes from his storage bag and handed them to Lu Pingon as he spoke. Taoist Xie is being too courteous. Lu Pingon knew that accepting the gift would mean leaving the past grievances behind, so he reached out to take the gift box. Lu Taoist, if the nobility has any business cooperation needs, feel free to visit the Xie family at Lingxi Lake at any time. This is the token of Lingxi Lake. Your people can come to Lingxi Lake with it. Xie Ying continued, offering a token. All right. Thank you, Taoist Xie. Sir, the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Pingon nodded, accepted the token, and glanced at it. One side bore the word Lingxi, and on the other, the character for Xie. I heard that Lu Taoist has not yet established a household. All the women of the Xie clan are graceful and dignified, virtuous and well-mannered. If Lu Taoist is interested, I can make the arrangements. Xiang looked at Lu Pingon in front of him and suddenly spoke. He had seen some basic information about Blue Lake Mountain before. He remembered that this firstborn son of the Lu family was not old, seemingly only in his 60s. At that age, being in the initial stage of Foundation establishment is rather ordinary. However, being in the late second rank of body refinement at that age is quite astonishing. One must know body refinement is even more difficult than chi refinement and takes a lot of time and effort. Lu Pingon before him possesses such body refinement strength, surely due to some great fortune. Perhaps it's possible that in the future he could break through to false core, leveraging his body refinement prowess. If our two families could arrange a marriage early on, it would be a great boon for my Xie family. I, Lu someone, am currently devoted to cultivation and have not yet considered marriage. Lu Pingan's face twitched slightly, not expecting such a swift change of topic from Xiang in front of him. All right then, if Lu Daoist ever finds the time, feel free to visit the Xie family. Our families should interact more. Xiang looked somewhat regretful, but remained extremely polite. He hinted that there might be other family forces targeting Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, and Lu Pingon should be cautious. He even subtly suggested that the incident at Red Leaf Valley Market might be related to the Sima family. After chatting for a while, Xiang went forward to make polite conversation with Lu Rui, greeted Ling Zixiao, and then took his leave. Blue Lake Mountain Lu family, the eldest son, Lu Pingon. This couple from Blue Lake Mountain Lu family are comparable to true pill masters, and even Lu Changsheng's talisman formation could threaten and even suppress an average true pill master. Now, there's also Lu Pingon, with such formidable body refinement combat power. The rise of Blue Lake Mountain is becoming unstoppable. Standing on the spirit boat, Xie was filled with emotion, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt that there was something extraordinary about Blue Lake Mountain. He even suspected that there might be more to Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoga than meets the eye. After all, Lu Changsheng's daughter, Lu Wangshu, relying on the heritage of the talisman path, wields such astonishing combat power. It might be true, as the early rumors suggested, that Lu Changsheng could threaten and even kill true pill masters with talisman formations. Don't spread word of this matter. At this moment, Xiang looked towards his nephew and the visiting noble servant, speaking out. While he wished to maintain friendly ties with Blue Lake Mountain and hoped for cooperation between their families, he also would not mind seeing Blue Lake Mountain clash with the other major powers, especially with the Sima and Yuan families. As old false core families, they have always acted aggressively and do not wish to see new false core families emerge. Having suffered a setback at Red Leaf Valley Market, they are likely to take ruthless measures this time. If Blue Lake Mountain clashes with these two families and a fierce battle ensues, the CF family could also benefit from it. I didn't use my full strength just now, and it's likely that Lu Pingon didn't either. Moreover, the lady of the Lu family has not made a move since the year Lu Changsheng seized by Lake Mountain from the Yu family, yet she came to oversee the caravan this time. Definitely not a simple matter. Xie secretly mused, even looking forward to the encounters of the Lu family caravan with the other forces. If both sides lash out and fight fiercely, causing flares of anger, that would be interesting indeed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Lu Rui and Lu Lingxiao also took action without delay, each facing off against a cultivator at the initial stage of Foundation establishment. This commercial expedition was for Lu Lingxiao to gain experience and improve. Encountering action, he naturally took part. The Lu Family Commerce Association actually has four Foundation establishment cultivators, but where is the lady of the Lu family? The elder at the late stage of Foundation establishment was shocked. He hadn't expected that not long after the event at Red Leaf Valley Market and the emergence of a Foundation establishment stage, Lu Wangshu from by Lake Mountain, now two unknown Foundation establishment cultivators appeared. But what shocked him the most was Lu Pingan's combat ability. Seeing that the rumors weren't true, he immediately wanted to flee and report this information back to his clan. But Lu Pingan wouldn't let him go so easily, entangling him in the fight. Meanwhile, Lu Rui and Lu Lingxiao were each engaged with a Foundation establishment cultivator, constantly exchanging blows. Both these Foundation establishment cultivators were not simple, possessing the cultivation of the third level of Foundation establishment, belonging to veteran fighters with rich experience in combat techniques. Lu Lingxiao, who had just broken through to Foundation establishment not long ago, barely managed to learn the Foundation establishment spells and lacked a suitable spiritual artifact, relying solely on his foundational mana, Devastation Flame, and second-order body, refining to match his opponent evenly. However, his powerful pupil skill was amazing, his eyes gleaming with golden light, continuously discerning the opponent's weaknesses and seeking opportunities, gradually gaining the upper hand. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1234. As for Lu Rui, she had no advantage. Even as the combat between both sides progressed, she gradually fell into a disadvantage, barely hanging on with the aid of a spiritual artifact. We can't keep this up, let's go. After exchanging a few rounds of battle with Lu Pingan, this late-stage Foundation establishment elder gave up on the other two and activated a talisman, preparing to escape alone. Trying to leave? Seeing this, Lu Pingan said to his sister, who was riding windfire wheels in the distance, "Xiaohe, watch carefully." Earthshake. Lu Pingan clenched his fist, and complex patterns spread across his robust physique like chains, resembling dragons and snakes moving about, bringing boundless mighty force. The endless surge of chi blood erupted like a volcanic explosion, making the air heavy, as if a mountain had fallen, pressing down on the old man in front, causing his entire body to sink sharply. The vertebrae moved like rising dragons, throwing out a fist that gathered infinite force. Bang, bang, bang. The massive sound waves and fist force burst the air layer by layer, then struck the old man trying to flee. The terrible force instantly shattered the old man's defensive magic artifact, violently blasting his physical body into a mist of blood. Seeing the blood mist before him, Lu Pingan suddenly realized that this scene of battle might seem a bit brutal for his sister. Immediately, with a clench of his hand, as if grasping the air from all directions, he made all the blood mist dissipate. The other two initial stage Foundation establishment cultivators had been observing the situation between the old man and Lu Pingan, thinking about when to retreat. Seeing this, they were instantly frightened out of their wits. What in the world? Their leader had just been killed with a single punch. In a flash, the two felt as if they had fallen into a cold chasm and lost all will to fight. Lu Lingxiao took advantage of this moment, and his devastation flame transformed into a black firebird, fiercely launching it to incinerate the old man before him. "Spare my life, esteemed Taoists, spare my life." The man fighting with Lu Rui quickly shouted out loud, begging for mercy, knowing that continuing the fight would only lead to a dead end. "Pingan, ask them where they are from." The voice of Ling Zixiao rang in Lu Pingan's mind. "Yes, aunt." Upon hearing this, Lu Pingan suppressed the man with a gesture, questioning him for information. Facing such a situation, the man dared not hide anything and divulged all of the information. He revealed that he was merely a loose cultivator named Zhou Datong, who heard about this job opportunity which promised, successful or not, a second-order breaking stage pill afterward. Hence he took up the task. The earlier elder likely hailed from the Yuan Mountain Yuan family, one of the 6 major false core families, the Yuan Mountain Yuan family. Lu's cultivator. Upon hearing this, Lu Pingan, Lu Rui, and the others immediately understood what the Yuan family's intentions were. They deliberately sent 2 Lu's cultivators to probe, knowing that the elder would abandon them and escape alone should any mishaps occur. Even if the two were captured and accused the Yuan family of the deed, such testimonial evidence would hardly be credible. Moreover, the Yuan family didn't believe that Blue Lake Mountain would dare to trouble them. Fellow Taoists, I truly know little about this matter, have no intention of offending nobles. Here is all my wealth. I am willing to offer it as compensation. Zhou Datong pleaded, regretting so much that his guts turned green. If you want to save your life, that's possible. My Lu Family Commerce Association is newly established and short-staffed. As long as you sign a contract and serve as an escort guard for my Blue Lake Mountain for 20 years, you'll be given your freedom afterward. Just then, a graceful and elegant voice sounded. Ling Zixiao, clad in a lake blue skirt, her appearance dignified and gracious, stepped out from the carriage, looking at Zhou Datong with a calm and indifferent expression, giving off an indescribable aura of majesty and nobility. Though Blue Lake Mountain currently has quite a few Foundation establishment cultivators. Search asterisk the novelier. N.E.T. website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Establishing a commerce association still requires manpower. If they paid to invite visiting noble servants with the current reputation of Blue Lake Mountain, indeed, some could be invited. But the expenses involved in hiring escort guards would be too great and currently not worthwhile. Since there are Foundation establishment cultivators being served up on a platter, Ling Zixiao naturally would not hold back. Escort guard, 20 years. Upon hearing this, Zhou Datong's expression changed slightly. For a Foundation establishment cultivator, 20 years is not very long. But the issue is not about the 20 years, but the role of the escort guard. It's known that escort guards escort merchant caravans and goods, traveling outside year-round, which is a dangerous job. Especially now that Blue Lake Mountain Lu family is in the limelight, being targeted by many powers, you never know when an accident might occur. You have no choice now, either die or serve Blue Lake Mountain for 20 years. Ling Zixiao's beautiful eyes were bright, like autumn water, as she calmly and indifferently looked at Zhou Datong, exuding an ineffable nobility. I am willing. Zhou Datong knew he had no other choice, and his entire demeanor deflated as he agreed. Right then, Ling Zixiao signed a spiritual contract with him and took out a blood covenant. Chapter 1235. Ling Zixiao carefully put away the spiritual contract and the blood covenant before nonchalantly adding a sentence. Then she gracefully returned to the carriage. Zhou Datong, although aware that her words were just pie in the sky, still harbored some hope and began to comfort himself. Thinking that the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family was so extraordinary, apart from Mr. and Mrs. Lu, there was such a top-tier cultivator. If he truly devoted himself, perhaps he could really reap some benefits. Big pot. Next time you should probably not use your fists. You're punching people to death. At this moment, Lu Lingyi said to his big brother, feeling that the punch just now was too fierce. All right. Lu Pingon smiled awkwardly. Lu Rui, who was standing next to them, looked at Lu Lingxiao in silence. It was one thing for the eldest brother to kill a Foundation establishment cultivator with a single punch. This younger brother of his, who had only recently broken through to Foundation establishment, managed to kill a Foundation establishment cultivator without even using his spiritual artifact. And as for herself, as the caravan continued moving forward, Ling Zixiao then instructed her son, Lu Lingxiao, shower. In the future, you will be in charge of family affairs. You must remember the 4 words, both kindness and might. As for how to bestow kindness and how to exert might, that is something you will have to grasp on your own. Although Zhou Datong signed the blood covenant, he has not yet fully pledged allegiance and lacks loyalty. Along the way, you could try applying both kindness and might to win him over. This might, you can exert it yourself, or through your big brother. Ling Zixiao's eyes gleamed brightly, as if she could see through the carriage to Lu Pingon and Zhou Datong. Although her son was not interested in family affairs, in her view, a lack of interest and a lack of understanding were two different concepts. Both kindness and might. CTH Nafire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Lingxiao, hearing his mother's words, glanced at Zhou Datong on top of the pack animal, nodded his head, and a memory surfaced in his mind of his mother's demeanor toward Zhou Datong just moments ago. He suddenly realized that he had never seen this side of his mother at home before. Meanwhile, at Great 8 Mountain, family head, bad news, the fourth elder's soul plate has shattered. The Yuan family elder, who was guarding the ancestral hall, came rushing with a look of urgency to report. What? The fourth elder's soul plate is shattered? How is this possible? The Yuan family head's eyes bulged with disbelief upon hearing this news. Their fourth elder possessed the cultivation of the Foundation Establishment's seventh layer, and his combat strength was extraordinary. Even a cultivator at the peak of Foundation Establishment would find it difficult to kill him. This excursion was merely to probe the strength and situation of the Blue Lake Mountain Liu family caravan. How could he have died out there? The Liu family only has 2 Foundation Establishment cultivators. Even if they had some hidden depth, it would only add up to 3 Foundation Establishment cultivators at most. How could they possibly kill the fourth elder? Moreover, the fourth elder had invited 2 Foundation Establishment cultivators to accompany him on this outing. The head of the Yuan family still couldn't believe the news. But once he arrived at the ancestral hall and saw that the fourth elder's soul plate was indeed shattered, he immediately notified the family and then sent people to investigate the matter. 9 days later, the Liu family caravan was moving along the road. From inside the carriage behind a pack beast, Ling Zixio's eyes suddenly opened wide as she looked at a compass in her hand. This formation compass was not meant to set up formations, but to sense them. After all, during the journey of commerce, one could encounter bandits who had arranged formations in advance, setting up an ambush. If one entered a formation set by others, even with a cultivation level 1 rank higher, it was very dangerous and would put one at a disadvantage. Pingan Rui Ling Xiao, be on your guard. Ling Zixiao called out to halt the caravan. Hoo. Just then, a strong wind suddenly arose in the forest, howling ominously. Buzz! Suddenly, within the sky dome, a stream of earthy yellow brilliance flowed, and a gigantic Xianhuang, mystic yellow, miniature mountain descended swiftly from the air, its might extremely terrifying. Not good. Lu Pingan was the first to react, his chi blood surging turbulently as his tall and burly figure skyrocketed towards the miniature mountain in the air, pushing upwards against it. Woo. In that instant, a protective light screen formed around the beasts of burden and the carriages. Yet, facing this oppressive aura, the beasts of burden all started to whine and cry tragically. Swoosh! The moment Lu Pingan took action, a golden arrow shot towards him furiously, its aura sharp and aggressive. Even though she knew her elder brother's body refinement was astonishing, Lu Rui still activated a second-rank golden light insignia for him without hesitation. Clang! The sound of gold striking metal rang out from his body as the golden arrow slammed into the golden light insignia with deafening impact, shattering it instantly. Boom! Lu Pingan directly flipped the earthy yellow miniature mountain above his head, and then his palm, as large as a millstone, violently slapped away the arrow that had broken the golden light insignia. Blue Lake Mountain Liu family. What an impressive Blue Lake Mountain Liu family. Truly extraordinary. Eldest son of the Liu family, Lu Pingan, it was rumored that you were at the second-rank middle stage of body refinement. Now it seems that the rumor was not only inaccurate, but greatly mistaken. Your body refinement has already reached the second-rank late stage. TSK is TSK. The Liu family really knows how to keep a low profile. I thought Lu Wangshu was the main pillar of the Liu family, but now it turns out you Lu Pingan are the true main pillar of the Liu family. No wonder Lu Changsheng dared to trust you leading the caravan. At this moment, 4 figures stepped forward, standing side by side. One had a miniature earthy yellow mountain floating above their head. One held a bow and arrow, another wielded a feather fan, and another held a formation compass. They all appeared quite young and had an extraordinary demeanor. Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and Zhou Datong immediately came to Lu Pinggan's side, looking at the 4 people before them. 3 Foundation establishment cultivators? Interesting, more and more interesting. No wonder your Lu family had the confidence to start a trade association and create such a commotion. The young man holding the feather fan paused and then chuckled aloud. Xuanwu Ridge, Sima family, the Sima Xianxia, 4 heroes. Lu Rui recognized the identities and backgrounds of the 4 individuals in front of them. Not only did the 4 hail from the Sima family, but they were also siblings born of the same mother. 4 brothers, all born of the same mother, to each possess a spiritual root and have exceptional talent enough to break through to Foundation establishment, is indeed quite rare in the cultivation world. And all 4 of them had their own fair share of fortunate encounters, each possessing not ordinary strength, having once killed a great cultivator in the late stage of Foundation establishment. They were not only famous in the Qinyan region, but also had considerable notoriety throughout the Jiang country cultivation realm. Lu Rui did not expect that the Sima family would be so brazen in making a move on their family caravan. Unlike the Xie family, who had come previously just for a probe, if the family had enough strength, even offering an apology or discussing cooperation was considered. The Yuan family, though directly murderous, still concealed their identities. But the Sima family in front of them had no disguise at all, openly assassinating their caravan. This was completely disregarding their Lu family, with no concern for face. I heard the Sima family has some relations with the Jin family. Now that our family is involved with the Jin family, it makes sense that the Sima family would take direct action. Lu Rui contemplated and immediately communicated the intel on the Sima Xianxia to her elder brother, Lu Lingxiao. She then proceeded to tell Zhou Datong the situation of the 4 individuals as well. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1236. Since you know of our brother's reputation, we'll give you a chance now. Roll back to Blue Lake Mountain immediately. Matters of the trade association are not for the Lu family to meddle in. The youth holding the feather fan spoke coldly, with a swirl of green nether energy whirling around his feather fan. Although the 4 of them were overconfident, a brief exchange just now had shown them that Lu Pinggan was no ordinary opponent, and they did not have full confidence in killing him. After all, the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family was famous for their talisman path. No one knew how many talismans the Lu family disciples had on hand, so they were still being somewhat cautious and prudent. Therefore, driving the Lu family back to their patch on Blue Lake Mountain was sufficient for this trip. In their eyes, the Lu family of Blue Lake Mountain had been secretly accumulating strength and nurturing so many Foundation establishment cultivators in recent years that they had already exhausted their foundation. As long as the family could no longer support these Foundation establishment cultivators, it would not be long before their prosperity turned to decline. The Sima family surely is overbearing. Damn it, if we were to retreat now, the trade association business would be utterly untenable. The Lu family disciples standing beside the caravan, upon hearing this, were all infuriated, feeling that the Sima family was too domineering. Then they looked toward the towering figure of Lu Pinggan. Now, their only hope was that their own elder brother, uncle, could repel the 4 of them. Rui, Lingxiao, Zhou Daoist, be cautious. Lu Pinggan didn't say much. The black dragon halberd appeared in his hand, and his robust and majestic body took large strides forward, charging at the 4 before him. How dare you? Arrogant. Simply seeking death. The Sima Xianxia saw Lu Pinggan actually facing the 4 of them alone, their faces turned cold, with a chill expression. In their view, Lu Pingan indeed had extraordinary strength. But for him to face the four of them alone was a blatant disregard. They did not take the four brothers seriously at all. Buzz! Sima Bo let out a cold hum, and the earthy yellow mini-mountain above his head instantly enlarged, spanning like the Xianxia Mountains between heaven and earth, pressing down on Lu Pingan. Boom! The Xianxia Mountains made it seem as though the heavens and earth themselves became heavier. An invisible pressure, thread by thread, enveloped the entire area, causing nearby Lu Lingxiao, Lu Rui, and Zhou Datong to feel somewhat unstable. The caravan's beasts of burden, Lu family disciples, and warriors also turned pale under this intangible pressure, their chi blood roiling, and found it hard to breathe. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Just at that moment, streams of light burst forth from the cargo boxes of the caravan, converging into an invisible light barrier enveloping the entire caravan. Array Master. Sima Shu, holding the array plate, looked towards one of the carriages, squinting his eyes. The lady of the Lu family from Blue Lake Mountain, Ling Zixiao, is precisely an array master. Third brother, it seems the formation you've arranged has been detected by this lady. Lady Lu hasn't shown up yet. Is there something shameful? Sima Zhong and Sima Ji also looked toward the carriage, seemingly trying to see through it to glimpse Ling Zixiao inside. Pingan, no need to waste time with them. Make it quick. CTH Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. At that moment, an elegant and pleasant voice came from inside the carriage. The voice was very calm, yet clearly reached everyone's ears. No need to waste time. Quick resolution. Is everyone from your Blue Lake Mountain Lu family this arrogant? Even if Lu Changsheng and Lu Miaoge were here, they would not dare to speak to us brothers like this. The Sima Siji's expressions turned icy, and the eldest Sima Bo, with roiling chi blood like that of a demon beast, spoke with a heavy voice. He was also truly a body cultivator. You are not fit to mention my father, my aunt by name. When Lu Pingan heard this, a cold light flashed in his eyes as well. The four before him were too arrogant. Not only had they tried to lay deadly hands upon meeting and nearly kill his caravan's disciples, but now they even spoke insultingly of his own father and aunt. His stature was imposing, dressed in silver armor, his eyes swirling with wind and thunder. Each movement was charged with the stirring of wind and thunder, like a thunderous war god. Wind and thunder. Mountain opener. Lu Pingan thrust the black dragon halberd, his right arm lifted with chi blood surging, gathering boundless wind and thunder, forming a colossal axe above his head. Since you asked for death, us four brothers will grant it to you. Sima Bo's burly body shimmered with Xianxia light, giving off a presence as heavy as a mountain, his actions merging with the Xianxia Mountains that spanned between heaven and earth. He was indeed extraordinary, his body refinement having already reached the second-rank late stage, and he possessed Foundation Establishment 6th layer cultivation level. If Lu Pingan's 100 refinements treasure body art had not broken through to the 8th level, he might not be able to suppress him. Facing the four brothers, he would certainly be at a disadvantage. But at this moment, Lu Pingan held nothing back, directly unleashing his quasi-third-order physique. Boom! The wind and thunder-wreathed colossal axe collided fiercely with the Xianxia Mountains, immediately unleashing a terrifying might that shook the earth and sky. The explosion of divine power was brutal and violent, as if to obliterate everything in its path, causing the Xianxia Mountains that span the sky dome to constantly tremble, nearly cracking. Not good. Third brother, fourth brother, take action. The feather fan-wielding Sima Zhong's face changed, immediately realizing something was amiss. Their eldest brother's punch was actually inferior to Lu Pingan's. It was being pushed back continuously under Lu Pingan's fist. He did not dare to hesitate. The feather fan in his hand violently fanned out, the green nether wind instantly sweeping towards Lu Pingon. Clang, clang, clang. This green nether wind was a potent wind, striking against Lu Pingan's body like steel blades, resounding with the sound of metal on metal. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The bow-wielding Sima Ji pulled the bowstring, and sharp golden arrows shot out, piercing the void, aimed murderously at Lu Pingon with killing intent. Meanwhile, Sima Shu, with the compass, squinted at the caravan below, offering up a magic pearl, attempting to break through Ling Zixio's formation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1237. As an array master, he knew that the merchant convoy's formation was solely supported by spirit stones. Its power was limited and it could not be sustained for long. Since he had taken action, he naturally would not hold back anymore. These four brothers were all exceptionally strong, each with their own strengths. Ordinary peak foundation establishment cultivators would perish at their hands. Big brother, Lu Lingxiao and Lu Rui, witnessing this scene, did not shrink back, although it was difficult for them to be of any help with their strength. In this situation, they could not simply watch their eldest brother being ganged up on by four people. Screech! Lu Lingxiao performed a gesture incantation, and the devastation flame blazed in front of him, transforming into black firebirds that charged toward the golden arrows. Lu Rui then sacrificed her flying sword and attacked Sima Shu, who was holding an array plate. As the opponent was an array master, she had to interfere if she wanted to break the formation. Zhou Datong, seeing this scene, was utterly dumbfounded. He did not expect that just after signing a blood covenant with the Lu family, he would encounter the famous foundation establishment cultivators, Sima Xianxia. He felt like acting and not acting in the current situation were both wrong. After all, if he took action, he might end up being beaten or killed by Sima Xianxia later. But if he didn't take action, his own blood covenant was still in the hands of Ling Zixio. Damn, what greedy thoughts did I have earlier? Zhou Datong inwardly cursed but still chose to act, sacrificing his own flying sword, which shone brilliantly, and attacked Sima Ji. A few small fries also dare to interfere. Sima Zhong looked at the three coldly. The five-colored feather fan in his hand flowed with five-colored radiance, generating waves of five-colored chi winds that tore through the air and directly attacked the three of them. To Lu Rui, Lu Lingxiao, and Zhou Datong, as peak foundation establishment cultivators, they were completely disregarded by Sima Xianxia. Usually, they were just little cultivators who could be killed on a whim. Pingon, don't be distracted. Focus on killing the person in front of you first. At that moment, in the carriage where Ling Zixio was, besides him and Lu Lingyi, there was another woman who looked exactly like Ling Zixio. However, this woman, compared to Ling Zixio, seemed to have a few more traces of allure in her eyebrows and eyes. The words had just been spoken. Sima Bo, who was vehemently contending with Lu Pingon, suddenly felt an intense pain in his divine consciousness, causing a spell of dizziness. Crack! The vast Xianhuang mountains suddenly appeared cracked at this moment, and immediately after, boom! The punch from Lu Pingon was like a divine axe that splits heaven and earth, breaking through the chi wind. Accompanied by a tragic scream, the robust physique of Sima Bo, resembling that of a demon beast, exploded under this punch. Big brother. The other three, seeing this scene, were shocked and did not understand what just happened. How their own big brother could be defeated in an instant. Divine Consciousness Secret Technique. This is a Divine Consciousness Secret Technique. Be careful. Ling Zixio, Sima Xianxia, able to have such a renowned reputation, were naturally extraordinary. They instantly realized what had happened. Their big brother must have been secretly attacked by a Divine Consciousness Secret Technique, which caused him to be distracted, leading to his defeat. Otherwise, even if Lu Pingon in front of them was incredibly powerful and domineering, he would not be able to kill their eldest brother in one punch amidst their combined assault. Let's go. Let's get out of here quickly. There's a big problem with Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. The three brothers, although heartbroken, also realized at this moment that with Lu Pinggan's physical body combined with Ling Xixiu's divine consciousness secret technique, it would be difficult for the brothers to withstand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Sima Zhong continuously waved the five-colored feather fan in his hand, sweeping up chi winds like a vast ocean, covering the area to buy time for their escape. There's a formation ahead. Pinggan, strike down the person holding the array plate. In the carriage, Ling Xixiu's calm and indifferent voice sounded, noticing that the three were going to utilize the formation to escape. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sima Shu, holding the array plate, upon hearing this, immediately fell horrified. Immediately after, a small bell in his mind started frantically ringing, indicating that a divine sense attack was targeting his soul. Nascent soul divine sense. How is this possible? Sima Shu's face was filled with terror. The small bell in his mind was a divine sense secret treasure designed to defend his mental spirit and fend off divine sense attacks. But at this moment, this divine sense had already surpassed the limits his secret treasure could handle. Instantly, Sima Shu's mind was in severe pain, and his mental spirit was in a trance. Spurt. Lu Pinggan stood majestic, aura radiating with golden treasure light, directly ignoring Sima Zhong's five-colored chi wind, standing firmly and punching directly at Sima Shu, whose body exploded into a mass of blood and mud. Even though Sima Shu was wearing a magical robe and had a spiritual artifact automatically protecting him, all defenses and body-protecting chi barriers broke down under Lu Pinggan's golden fist. Third brother. Sima Zhong and Sima Ji, witnessing this scene, were utterly heartbroken and incredulous. The other Lu family disciples escorting the convoy also pulled themselves out of their recent fears, each one excited beyond measure, although they had never heard of any Sima Xianxia. But the spiritual pressure just now was the most terrifying they had ever seen. Merely a breath of air made their chi blood churn and breathing difficult. Yet such beings were all blasted to their death by their own big brother, uncles punch by punch. What could there possibly be to fear on the rest of their journey? Pinggan, thank you for your hard work. At this moment, Ling Zixiao glanced at the thousand faces puppet fox beside her, and as her daughter Lu Lingyi stepped out of the carriage, she addressed the eldest son of the Lu family. Even though she was well aware of the capabilities of the thousand faces puppet fox, the effect just now was still beyond her expectations. Thanks to Annie Ling, Lu Pinggan knew that Ling Zixiao had taken action just now. Otherwise, even if he could win, he wouldn't have been able to kill all four. It could be said that these four were the strongest opponents he had faced since he set out on his path. Each of them had profound strength, and their techniques complemented each other. Now that the beasts of burden have been frightened, we can no longer continue on our journey. Pinggan, you should also rest well, recover your condition, and wait for the upcoming battle. Ling Zixiao, dressed in a lake blue palace dress, her figure dignified and elegant, said with a light smile. The upcoming battle, Lu Lingxiao and Lu Rui, beside her, were both startled and somewhat surprised when they heard this. These four were the seeds of the Sima family's current generation. Rumors have it that the four had acquired an opportunity for inheritance, and their cultivation methods are enhanced when practiced together. Not to say necessarily achieving core formation simultaneously, but they are also likely to reach false core. Now that the four are dead, the patriarch of the Sima family will certainly not sit still and will come to seek vengeance. With a slight smile and an offhand manner, Ling Zixiao said, "The false core patriarch. The false core immortal." Everyone nearby was shocked upon hearing this. Even Lu Pinggan's heart skipped a beat. Although he had advanced to the 8th layer of the 100 Refinements treasure body art, He had just made the breakthrough recently and had not yet developed divine skills. If he encounters a false core immortal, the outcome may be difficult to predict. Rest assured, unless the Sima family sends 2 of their false core real people or invites their mysterious turtle, there's no need to worry. This battle also serves to establish the might of our Blue Lake Mountain, deterring others from constantly seeking trouble with us. Ling Zixiao said softly. Even though she usually doesn't concern herself with family affairs, she had spent time understanding the power dynamics of the Jiang country cultivation realm, especially the family forces of the Qingyun region. After speaking, she turned to look at Lu Pinggan and continued, "After this battle, every move you make will be watched by others. Pinggan will follow Auntie Ling's arrangements." Lu Pinggan said with his hands clasped in salute. His father had instructed him, if he was uncertain about anything during this trade mission, he could consult Auntie Ling. Therefore, upon hearing the other party, he did not raise any questions and chose to trust. "Mother, wouldn't this be too dangerous? Didn't father say that harmony is precious?" Lu Lingxiao spoke up, although he had faith in his mother. Search asterisk the novel F. Ire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Yet, this was essentially a confrontation with a false core immortal, which seemed too risky in his eyes. Ling Zixiao glanced at her son and spoke. "It's true that harmony is precious, but excessive concession only makes us seem weak and susceptible to bullying, leading others to push us even further. Our family must now show some toughness to secure a footing for the Commerce Association. Besides, now that a fight has happened, even if we return to Blue Lake Mountain, the Sima family will still come looking for us. In that case, it's better to settle the grudges here directly. This battle will also signal to other forces that we at Blue Lake Mountain do not provoke trouble, yet we do not fear it either. Should anyone dare to trouble our family, they better weigh their options carefully. Moreover, the 6 false core families have always been fighting overtly and covertly. The Jin family already has a bad relationship with us. If we also antagonize the Sima family, the other families will surely be more than happy to forge good relations with us. Some of the family forces around the Sima family will also take the initiative to reach out and cooperate with us." Ling Zixiao patiently explained to her son, "As for the wrath of the Sima family, there's no need to care about it." Although she approved of her husband's principles, she believed that sometimes it was necessary to be more assertive. While it may attract trouble and unwanted attention, it also prevents a lot of hassles. Furthermore, the events at the Red Leaf Valley Market, along with the continuous foundation establishment breakthroughs of the children at home, meant that the family situation couldn't be concealed after all. Instead of hiding and pretending, it's better to frankly reveal some information to others. If Lu Pinggan shows false core strength, then our family would be completely regarded as a false core family. Isn't it quite normal for the family to have a few more foundation establishment cultivators then? Chapter 1239, Profound Martial Ridge. Sima Family Ancestral Hall. How is this possible? The Sima family head saw the 4 shattered soul plates in front of him, his entire body shivering uncontrollably, his face deathly pale. Not only was he afraid of the death of his 4 uncles, he also feared the wrath of the family patriarch after his uncles' deaths. After all, these 4 uncles were the hope of this generation for the Sima family, with future prospects of reaching core formation. Now, they had all fallen unexpectedly. My uncles were just going to deal with the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family caravan. How could they possibly fall in the outside world? Could it be that some other family's false core patriarch ambushed and killed them on the way? The Sima family head's body trembled continuously, muttering to himself, unwilling to believe this fact. No, this is absolutely unthinkable. If other false cores dared to commit such a taboo act, it would lead to an all-out fatal rupture with our Sima family. They definitely wouldn't dare to do so. Moreover, my uncles were extraordinary. Even a true pill master would find it difficult to kill them all. The Sima family head's throat was dry, his mental spirit quivering, suspecting that his four uncles might have encountered other dangers on the road. Not daring to think further, he hurriedly flew towards the top of profound Marshall Peak. Arriving in front of a cave mansion, he knelt down and shouted, "Patriarch, there's a great disaster. What issue needs such screaming and shouting?" A deep, heavy voice filled with authority came from the cave mansion. CTH Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Patriarch, the Sima family head knelt in front of the cave mansion, his face deathly pale, his forehead dripping with sweat, his voice hoarse as he said, "Sima Bo, Sima Zhong, Sima Shu, Sima Ji. The soul plates of the four uncles have shattered." What? An overwhelming magic aura billowed out from the cave mansion, hitting the Sima family head who knelt outside so hard that his whole body sank, his chi blood tumbling violently, leaving him with a heavy feeling in his chest. He didn't dare to move, prostrating on the ground, and with a trembling voice said, "Not long ago, upon hearing about the matters of Blue Lake Mountain, the four uncles went to intercept the Liu family caravan, saying they wanted to cut them down a notch." Blue Lake Mountain Liu family caravan? How could a mere Blue Lake Mountain Liu family kill the pride of my Sima family? An old man with gray hair, a rugged face, dressed in black brocade robes, walked out of the cave mansion, his eyes round and fearsome, looking at the Sima family head in front of him, radiating an intense oppressive aura. "Patriarch, I am also at a loss." The Sima family head trembled as he spoke. But as soon as the words left his mouth, his heart sank sharply. If Liu Changsheng could kill his own four uncles, if their own patriarch went, could he really kill him? Liu Changsheng, what a Liu Changsheng, daring to kill the pride of my Sima family. This old patriarch will annihilate your Blue Lake Mountain Liu family. Upon hearing this, Patriarch Sima was burning with rage. It should be noted that the four brothers Sima Bo acquired a great fortune back then, cultivating an unparalleled secret technique. When one of them aimed to break through to core formation, the other three could sacrifice their lives' origin source to assist, improving the breakthrougher's chances of core formation by 20 to 30%. With the Sima family's background, coupled with this secret technique, perhaps they could achieve a breakthrough to core formation for one person, catapulting their Sima family into a nascent soul noble family. But now, with the fall of the four Sima brothers, their great clan dream was directly shattered. How could he not be enraged by this situation? Third and fourth, are they at home? Notify them to come and see me. Patriarch Sima was beyond furious, his false core power permeating his surroundings, making the adjacent Sima family head feel suffocated, struggling to breathe. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know or report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1240. Although he was angry, he realized that it might be difficult to kill Liu Changsheng, who had slain four of his family's proud sons. After all, no one knows how many talismans a talisman cultivator has in hand. The fourth brother is at home, and the third brother seemed to have gone to Thundercliff not long ago. E of the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The Sima family head said with some difficulty, "Little four, come see me." The voice of Patriarch Sima thundered, and then he looked toward the back hill of his own family and called out in a low voice, "Black Shadow. Whistle." A moment later, a whistling cry sounded. A gigantic goshawk with deep, ink-like lustrous feathers spread its wings and approached. Its eagle eyes were deep and sharp, its beak curved and pointed, glistening with a cold metallic luster, and its talons were like refined steel, emanating a fearsome demon chi. For a false core family, like the Sima family, with a legacy of over 1,000 years, in addition to nurturing the family's children, they also raise several spiritual beasts to bolster their foundations. However, the most famous spiritual beast of the Sima family is a mysterious turtle left behind by Patriarch Sima in his early years. It is said that this mysterious turtle has extraordinary bloodlines, advancing towards a third-rank demon king. And even the name of the family's territory, Profound Martial Ridge, is related to this mysterious turtle. Second uncle. A moment later, an old man exuding the spiritual pressure of Foundation establishment hurried over and saluted the Patriarch Sima, who stood before him. Where's the Liu family caravan at this moment? Patriarch Sima's gray hair whipped wildly, his authority intimidating as he looked towards the Sima family head and asked in a deep voice. Based on the previous information, they should be near Jilian Mountain. The Sima family head quickly responded. Little Four, come with me. Upon hearing this, Patriarch Sima's eyes glinted sharply with killing intent. He immediately took the elder named Little Four to the back of the black goshawk. Whistle! The goshawk let out a loud cry, stirring up a gust that swept everything away as it flew out of Profound Martial Ridge towards the direction of Jilian Mountain. Meanwhile, Bihu Mountain, Liu family mansion. Lingxi Lake, Xie family, and Mountain Yuan family. Profound Martial Ridge, Sima family. Liu Changsheng glanced at the letter in his hand, chuckled lightly, and said, "It seems that the events at Red Leaf Valley Market have dissuaded certain families with ill intentions from their schemes. And these few false core families can no longer remain seated idly." Chapter 1241. In such a situation, for the growth of our own family and the development of our children, it is not a good thing. Moreover, the growth of the family cannot solely rely on annihilating other forces in advance, right? Buzz! Just then, Liu Changsheng suddenly felt a slight tremor in the earth's veins above Lake Mountain. Liu Changsheng furrowed his brows slightly, his pupils gleaming with a purple-gold luster, as he surveyed Baiyun Peak before him. Baiyun Peak, being the main vein of Bai Lake Mountain, is connected to the Earth's veins through formations. Unless someone attacks the Great Formation, there shouldn't be any earthquakes. Indeed, these two branches have formed. Liu Changsheng's eyes shone brightly, seeing through the mountain rocks to the formation of two nurtured branches on Baiyun Peak, a joyous expression on his face. The spirit vein of Baiyun Peak should have advanced to second order, high quality long ago. It was the nurturing of these two branches that caused the delay. Husband, what's wrong? Search * the novel _fire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Miaoyun and Chu Jinjin looked at Liu Changsheng and asked aloud. The two small peaks next to us are finally shaping up. Liu Changsheng said with a laugh. Regarding the cultivation of these two spirit vein peaks, he did not hide it, and many people at home knew about it. After all, the advancement of a spirit vein can still be somewhat concealed through methods. But nurturing small peak branches cannot be concealed at all. Immediately, Liu Changsheng called over his son, Liu Xingyang. He pointed to the small hillsides rising on the left and right sides of Baiyun Peak and instructed him to evacuate the family members, telling them not to get close to here. Then he informed everyone in the family who was currently cultivating in meditation to temporarily stop their cultivation. Yes, father. Liu Xingyang had long known that these two small hillsides were spirit veins nurtured by Baiyun Peak. Once the spirit veins are formed, the terrain of these two hillsides will rise slightly, forming a small peak. Mount Sumru. After arranging everything, Liu Changsheng came to the summit of Baiyun Peak and shouted towards Mount Sumru, indicating that when the spirit vein of Baiyun Peak advances later, it would suppress the spiritual mechanism of Baiyun Peak and keep things quiet. After all, it was just over 30 years ago that the spirit vein of Baiyun Peak had advanced to second order superior. If it now advances to second-order high quality, that would make his family seem exceedingly affluent. Yes, master. The light and pleasant voice of Mount Sumeru sounded in Lu Changsheng's mind. Rooted on the spiritual vein of Baiyun Peak, it merely needed to suppress the spiritual mechanism and swallow the excess of nature's spiritual energy in a Mount Sumeru cave heaven. Then there wouldn't be any disturbance. At most, the elevation of the terrain would increase slightly. But as long as it is not advancing to a third-order spirit vein, the change in terrain won't be too exaggerated. Rise! After instructing Mount Sumeru, Lu Changsheng performed the dragon-seeking art with his hands, causing Baiyun Peak to tremble slightly, as if shaking. Within the earth's veins, the spiritual mechanism flowed, and suddenly, the two small adjacent hillsides began to rumble as sand flew and stones scattered. Moments later, a surge of gray-black energy spread from the small hillsides, and the terrain began to rise slowly. This signifies the formation of the spirit vein, with the dispersing of the earth fiendish miasma. What's this commotion? A spirit vein is forming. Aside from Baiyun Peak, Lake Heart Island, and Ling Tsue Cliff, our home is gaining another spirit vein. Not just one, but two. So this is the formation of a spirit vein. How wondrous and mystical. Many Lu family disciples, apprentices, and visiting noble servants who heard the commotion gazed toward the two hillsides beside Baiyun Peak, all astonished beyond measure. After all, the formation of spirit veins is something most people have only read about in books. Seeing such a spectacle now, they felt greatly enlightened. Even through linking branches with Baiyun Peak, nurturing such a branch vein would require at least 2 or 3 spiritual origin pearls, right? Spiritual origin pearls? I remember such spiritual spring items are worth tens of thousands of spirit stones each. Yes, and such treasures are priceless. Only big families like Bihu Mountain have the strength and financial resources to acquire them. A few observant visiting noble servants, witnessing this scene, expressed their sentiment aloud. Even though they all had unique skills and earned nearly 100 spirit stones per month, to purchase a single spiritual origin pearl, they would need to work hard for half their lifetime without spending on anything else. And for Bihu Mountain to cultivate 2 spirit veins at this time, their efforts would not be enough even if they worked until death. An hour and a half later, the 2 hillsides beside Baiyun Peak had calmed down, becoming 2 small peaks about 10 meters high. Although they're only first-order high quality, now that the spirit vein has formed, subsequent nurturing will be easier. Lu Changsheng looked at these 2 small peaks, a faint smile on his face. In his hands, with the origin source of the spirit vein, not to mention the 2 peaks before him, he could nurture 3 to 5 more to second-order high quality without any problem. However, for these 2 small peaks, he had no plans to nurture them to second-order yet. He would first cultivate them to first-order high quality, then wait for Ling Zixiao to set up a formation to conceal the situation before deciding on further cultivation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. However, he did not know the abilities and effects of the Foundation Establishment Seed condensed by these 3 spiritual trees. Father, I choose the Dragon Blood Tree, Lu Yun stated after listening. He planned to refine the heavenly longevity technique, achieve Foundation establishment, and then, like his father, begin to have many children. The Fire Mulberry Tree and the Golden Fire Vine Tree were not much help in this regard. The Dragon Blood Tree, transformed from Jiaolong blood and flesh nourishment, if it could enhance physical strength, that might be somewhat beneficial for his future. The Dragon Blood Tree. Lu Changxing chuckled upon hearing his son's prompt decision. Having broken through core formation and awakened the Tai divine soul. Even without deliberate focus, he could still capture some emotional and spiritual fluctuations of his children. Thus, through his son's words, he roughly guessed the latter's intentions. All right, since that is the case, let us plant this dragon blood tree on top of Xuanfu Peak, Lu Changsheng said with a smile. He then led Lu Yun, Lu Miaoyun, and Chu Jinjin to the summit of Xuanfu Peak. Ling Zixiao was not at home. Arranging formations indeed posed some inconvenience. Therefore, Lu Changsheng directly deployed a small reversed 5-element array he carried with him to shield the surroundings, and then extracted the dragon blood tree from the system space. This dragon blood tree bore some resemblance to the luminous treasure tree, with no leaves but branches gleaming with dark gold luster. The patterns on the tree's surface were twisted and meandering, resembling a ferocious and terrifying flood dragon coiled around it. Quite intimidating. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Since the family had arranged for her to manage business matters, she had spent considerable time identifying heavenly and earthly treasures over the years. Ghost Spirit Vine, 700 Spirit Stones. Lu Lingyi nodded her little head, then took out her notebook, illustrated the Ghost Spirit Vine, and noted the price. Ghost Spirit Vine is quite beneficial for Yin spirits and ghost cultivators. Lilin could probably use it. Xiaohe, give this Ghost Spirit Vine to your big brother later. Lu Rui had seen the ghost slave that accompanied their eldest brother and continued to speak. Yes, yes. Lu Lingyi nodded her little head and placed a half-segment of Ghost Spirit Vine into her storage bag. After a while, the sisters finished sorting through the storage bags of the Xianxia. Spirit stones, spiritual artifacts, elixir medicines, spiritual medicines, and other heavenly and earthly treasures amounted to a total value of nearly 300,000 spirit stones. After Lu Rui calculated everything, she felt somewhat dazed. After all, it had been decades since she had seen so many spirit stones. An ordinary foundation establishment family, excluding various expenses, would consider an annual profit of 10,000 spirit stones as quite good. Even if they set up a trading caravan, a single trade journey would only yield a surplus of around 10,000 spirit stones. Lu Rui felt a wave of emotion in her heart. Suddenly, she understood why at every stage of cultivation, energy refining, foundation establishment, core formation, there were always robber cultivators. Because earning money through hard work, no matter how diligent, was nowhere near as fast as robbing. For this caravan journey of 4 months, we earned a little over 2,000 spirit stones. Brother dealt with these people along the way, and the spirit stones he gained are almost 400,000. Could this be the real reason father established the caravan? Lu Rui pondered suddenly. However, she immediately shook her head to dismiss the thought. Her father was a man of integrity and gentle nature, like a modest gentleman. How could he possibly accumulate wealth in such a way? Moreover, those they encountered and eliminated along the way were the ones who sought trouble with them first, attacking as soon as they met. Search * the novel F. Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Even with families like the Ling Xie family, as long as they were not overly aggressive, her eldest brother would not strike harshly. Sometimes, Lu Rui would lament that her brother was too upright, inheriting this trait from their father. Auntie, Lu Rui came out of the carriage and reported the sordid gains to Ling Zixiao. That's some wealth. Ling Zixiao heard and laughed softly, not too moved by the 300,000 spirit stones. After all, the family had been spending money like water over the years.